The NFL selects Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The NFL draft gets underway in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited.
Right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The week of the draft.
I just hope it doesn't make us look bad. That's all.
We need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency.
Next thing you know, you have another guy that you feel awesome about.
The Packers are one of the toughest teams to nail down in the first round.
The depth of this class outshines the star power of this class.
Michael Williams.
Pushed immediately and slung down by Michael Williams.
Maxwell Hairston, the corner from Kentucky.
Throws down the middle of the field. Maxwell Hairston, big-time pick.
There were plenty of spots you could put Shamar Stewart if teams want to roll the dice on talent.
Down he goes! Shamar Stewart on the sack.
In terms of Emeka Egbuka, a professional receiver.
Caught in stride, Egbuka, touchdown!
And we'll look at the focus and concentration.
Wow. I am a huge Hunter Wohler fan. Any safety who hits like that, I'm going to be a fan of you.
Dropped. And guess who made the lick? Is Hunter Wohler.
So Green Bay, you're on the clock.
Welcome to my house.
I just don't know exactly what they feel like they need the most right now.
If they're not better this year, there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
I think they're one marquee player away.
With the 23rd pick.
They needed receivers in the first round and not
This has to be the most important draft of Brian Gutekunst's tenure.
Yeah, I think it's time that we start competing for championships.
The Green Bay Packers select.
Welcome to my house.
It's my house.
Shamar Stewart, no matter what. Who's your yellow post-it, no matter what edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, maybe, Twitter, Facebook,
Maybe.
Definitely YouTube. And, of course, everything you need in the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable ESPN Wisconsin app. So be sure to download it in the App Store. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay, but everybody else is too because the NFL Draft is here. Round one tonight at 7 p.m. Jesse Nelson, never one to miss a field trip when it's something high-profile.
And free food.
Yeah, I'm legit trying to figure out, like, why, and not that we don't want Jesse here, but Hunter's in the house on point. Got Riley back at the Everlight Solar Studio, and Jesse just kind of here. It's good to see.
It's a three-man booth. Hunter Vaughn is alcove.
Yeah, he's like trapped back there. Very agile to get around back.
I've named it, but I don't know if we want to say what the name is.
The Riley Yauk is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and fresh off the dais where he appeared on Unsportsmanlike, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft.
Yeah, it's nice. A little traffic on the way up here this morning, but I don't. Where's our camera? I don't even see our.
They're over there.
Oh,
Two
there.
cameras there. Yeah.
Two.
So
one just for him and one for the rest of us.
You can see the infrastructure. I have not. Obviously, Jason, you live up here, so you've seen this all the time. I think it's going to be a madhouse tonight. That's what there's fences, there's walls, there's moats. It is.
There's no moats.
Have you seen? There might be.
There's no moat.
You don't know.
With crocodiles in them.
But a huge stage, and obviously anticipating a ton of people. All the way down, I got off the exit, Oneida Street exit. $100 to park down.
I did see
like
that,
3 miles away. Hey, kudos to y'all, man. Go get your cash.
If you get it.
Go get your cash. But, yes, then I get here, and Evco's like, hey, get up here. And it's 8:47, So I slink up there, try to slink up there. They make fun of me immediately because they think I'm going to break the chair. And I'm always chair conscious.
Well, that's not very nice.
I'm chair conscious, not because that's a strong, sturdy chair, but when I was in Japan, very chair conscious because there's little like kindling type things.
Chair conscious.
No problem, get seated, and then Evan, instead of just like letting things go, I got my hand on the desk like I always do.
Yeah.
The producer's like, you're going to flip the desk. And Evan's like, stop messing with our stuff. You're going to break the desk. And I'm like, you could have probably told me that after. And when I'm walking off, he's like, I was nervous you're going to flip the whole desk over. And I said, well, wouldn't that have been good TV? Because they're on ESPNU. So
I'm sure they would love the table to flip over.
So that's where we're at this morning. So I get here, and that's kind of how the morning went.
So you're off to a strong start, basically. You were ridiculed on national television.
Yep.
And now here you are.
Yep.
Now, I believe Evan Cohen and Chris Canty are scheduled to appear on our program.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Michelle Smallman, smart enough not to get involved with this program again. Are you going to repay the favor? Are you going to?
No, I'm classier than that.
You're going to take the high road. You and Denny Green. If you're looking for Mark Tauscher, you'll find him on the high road.
I might say something about the fact that they're dressed like we're in the Arctic. I go up there and I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? They're bundled up with mittens and stocking caps and 3 layers of coats.
I didn't see anyone wearing mittens. They did have
there
some
were
warm
mittens.
coats.
There were
they
warm
started
coats and stocking
at 5
caps.
In fairness to them, I saw them. It was in the dark.
Is it 5 o'clock still, or is it almost 9 o'clock?
You want them to change during commercial breaks?
I don't know what I want. I mean, he's so cold, but he's still wearing pants like he's a teenager.
Well, his knee is cold.
He's got is that now the new cool thing for middle-aged men to start rock? I don't know, but that'll be the only thing, and that'll still be up on the high road when we do have that
didn't
conversation.
sound very high roady.
We'll see.
I did hear Canty on my drive-in say it was snowing, which I find hard to believe.
That's
I don't believe
true.
there was
I
any snow
legit was
occurring.
thinking about wearing shorts today. I was going to, and I'm like, I think I probably need to, because it's going to be a long day, I'm going to wear slacks. But I thought about shorts.
Slacks.
I thought about shorts.
Yeah, I did too. I wore them all day yesterday. It was beautiful here yesterday as we got ready for this. And look, the NFL knows what they're doing. They put on Super Bowls. They've done this since 2015 with the draft in Chicago, those first 2 years that they took it on the road. They put these international games on. But I have to be honest, yesterday they were running the 2-minute drill yesterday. There was so much stuff still being the finishing touches being put on it. I was like, all this fencing here was just, you could see through it. They put up the coverings now. I'm amazed. They know what they're doing. I never doubted it, but it was incredible how much more work was being done.
Sounds like you doubted it a little bit.
I was just amazed that it came down to the day before.
Doubting Thomas, if you will.
Not to be confused with Joe Thomas, who will be here announcing the Cleveland Browns pick at some point during the course of the draft. All right, so are you – it's not going to be anticlimactic, I don't think. This is going to be, like you said,
it's going to be climactic.
It'll be – sure.
If it's not anticlimactic, it's climactic.
Well, it could be just it could be just exactly what we're expecting.
Properly climactic.
A proper climactic. Okay.
I am extremely curious to see what this place looks like at 2 p.m. And at 5 p.m. and then at 7 p.m. when the draft begins, because we're finally seeing fans, but there's not a lot of them yet this morning. I'm curious to see when the throng arrives and things get, like you said, a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it's going to get crazy. I just want to get my car parked at the house we're staying at, get back here on site, and then just enjoy the day. That's, I have parking. That's something. There's no ramp, so as long as it's not ramp, I have a phobia of ramps, as you know.
Oh, we're well aware.
So once we get settled in, we got a full fun day over here. Got a couple of different events. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be packed. It's going to be a madhouse. Embrace and enjoy. That's going to be the motto today. Embrace and enjoy.
So Sarah Quick of the Packers PR department got a bunch of us beat writers convenient parking a couple blocks away on the other side of the stadium.
It's nice of
Did
Sarah.
you need me to Uber you anywhere while I'm
Oh.
Maybe. Yeah, actually, I might.
You can be his driver for a change.
I've always that's a role that now I do have a small Nissan Sentra, so there.
I am surprisingly agile. I got into some very small cars in Japan. I have a very good knack, even though I am a very large human being, that I can squeeze and find ways in.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about that.
All right. Well, if you need transportation, I would be happy to do that.
Okay.
We are getting ready for the draft. The Packers scheduled to pick as of right now at number 23.
Yeah.
Whether that turns out to be the case, whether they boldly go where Goody has never gone before and moves up, or more likely moves down, we'll have to wait and see till 7 o'clock tonight when things get kicked off. I feel like we do this every year. I know not everyone loves the movie Draft Day as much as I do.
Yeah, I just feel like if you love football, you'll love Draft Day.
Is it realistic?
It's probably
not
more
that
realistic than it should be, but it is not realistic.
Josh
no.
DiMaggio hates it. I learned that.
I know.
I learned that listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week with the Mr. Irrelevant crew yesterday afternoon. They'll be on again today from noon to 2. He was bashing Draft Day, and I was wondering if you were listening because
he probably don't like
you would take that pretty seriously.
He probably doesn't like puppies either.
Well, neither do you. You don't.
No,
even
I
want
like
one.
puppies. I just don't want to have one. There's differences.
I like them a lot. So I do want to know, and I even brought my yellow Post-it notes.
Props.
So we can all, yes, I'm a prop comic. We can all put down who's our guy no matter what. Now, I do think this in talking to a few people last night. I think there are some people that would love nothing more than Tetaroa McMillan to somehow miraculously still be on the board. I've seen
been a lot of reports that have tried
bad
to help
mouthing of him.
That helps with
Which
slippage.
is great if you're a Packers fan and you want him to break the 22 draft streak of not drafting.
Is it
first-round
IPT
wide receiver
for Goody or some of his staff to be that guy, to
Yes,
get their guy?
But if it works, it works.
And nobody will ever admit to it because you're basically sewering this kid.
Right. Because you like him so much.
Because you want him, which is a sick deal.
Incredible irony.
I can kind of relate, I think.
Explain.
I hope.
You think we sewer you because we want to keep
Yeah,
you?
I think you both sewer me a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get
I
out
think
of the
you
sewer.
sewer
You
each
ain't no
other.
s-
I think
you
you
don't
sewer
have
me.
any sewage.
I think there's a lot of sewering going on this show.
Anyways, I do think you start seeing this, and when I think with Shedeur Sanders, you saw a report, and then there's always some reportage after. But the bottom line is this is the time where all of the BS and everything starts whittling away because it's now getting to be you-know-what time. And when that's the point, you get your board, you have your last for teams that have owners, you have that meeting and say, here's kind of the thought, and you hope you don't have a meddlesome owner that's like, we know that that's not the case here. We know that Goody is not under any pressure from when Mark Murphy was with everybody on the tailgate tour. There is no
doing his material.
You better do it. But I do think this is the time where you have your guys and you hope. And the question is, at some point, is it going to be worth it to secure, to go up to make a move and get that guy that you love? You can't do it from 23 to 3, but can you do it from 23 to 18? Absolutely you can. That's where I think the intrigue comes, and it all comes back to how the board falls and where Goody and his staff have guys located. If there's somebody that they have, the reports are there's only 16 guys that are big-time first-round grades. If one of those slip, then do you make a move and make that splash that I think all fans are hoping that he does?
And on the flip side of our theoretical sewering of Tetaroa McMillan, so you want him to still be on the board when you're picking, apparently Tetaroa did not get the memo because while we were doing the show yesterday and he's at that clinic across the way at Titletown, he's talking about all the love the Packers have shown him and how much he'd love to be here. And I had some people saying, well, wouldn't he say that if the draft was in Nashville or if it was in Kansas City? No, because he has gotten the most interest from the Packers. The Packers are the only team that had their general manager at his pro day on campus in Tucson and had him in for a visit. He obviously did other pre-draft visits, but it is true that he has gotten his most love from the Packers, which makes me think that they're not going to have a chance to get him. But we'll see.
No.
But he seems to I watched that clip. Seemed pretty authentic. Like, he thinks they really like him. And I can tell you that Matt LaFleur would love to have him in his wide receiver group. I think maybe if you had a Tetaroa McMillan in your wide receiver group, maybe the offense wouldn't have to run through the tight ends quite as much as you and I are anticipating it to do so.
All
So
right.
we'll see. I still, if you made me bet, I would say he will be long gone by 23. So if they do, in fact, want him as much as we think maybe they should, they're going to have to go up to get him. What you should want, and I've run into some fans over the last 2 days. God, they love the Pella commercial. Hey, you're in the Pella commercial with Big Bird, they say.
Oh, the Big Bird. And we are finally here. Draft day is upon us. All kinds of draft up in Green Bay. There's signs for the draft. There's fences for the draft. There's moats for the draft. A lot of buzz about the draft, but you're not going to find any draft seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick because right now, take advantage of no-interest financing or free glass upgrades. They're talented designers and installers. They will match your home's unique decor through seamless customizations. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
More live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field as we get ready for round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in 4/30/2025.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
The keys of a new Audi are in reach at Audi of Madison. Save $3,000 on a new 2025 Audi Q5, A3 sedan, A5 Sportback, or A6 sedan. National Credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until April 30th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see the current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline at Rimrock Road.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Want your own Free Food Friday from the Hut? Tune into Wilde and Tausch this Friday from 9 a.m. to noon for a chance to win 2 free large pizzas and 2 free orders of wings at select Pizza Hut locations. Perfect for a speedy lunch, a relaxing dinner, or anytime you're on the go. Head to pizzahut.com. That's pizzahut.com or the select Pizza Hut locations to enjoy your own Free Food Friday. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less, ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection. Ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop
That's his favorite.
and the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
This is our crew.
Terrain is up, scrambling home. He's going to score, and Yelich into third. Oh, the Brewers with the double steal.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
When you tell me I'm a wreck, you say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less? You latched onto me, then cried how strong you belong.
I told you when you feel for day 1 of the 3-day NFL draft. Packers will go on the clock at number 23 around 9:45, 10 o'clock-ish.
Yep.
So it's going to be a bit of a wait for Packers fans, but the first pick, the Tennessee Titans, will go on the clock at 7 o'clock-ish, and then they will select Cam Ward as the number 1 overall pick. Not to be nostalgic, but we want to get ready for Evan Cohen and Chris Canty to join us, and I know Evan would like us to get to him on time, I'm sure, unlike when we do it over the phone when he's driving in traffic in New York. It is the 25th anniversary of you being drafted.
No, it's not.
It is.
A couple
You were
days
drafted
ago.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, it's anniversary adjacent. Yes, but it was because there's some account that tweets that out, and I saw that and I was like, man, I can't believe it's been 25 blanking years already.
Yeah, pretty crazy. What are your recollections of that? Because that was back when it was 2 days.
Yeah, it was a Saturday, Sunday. I knew that I was not getting drafted on Saturday. I think it was 3 rounds.
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
So I went out to Wando's on Saturday night, had a night, and then got a call Sunday morning early that the Detroit Lions were going to grab me, 5th round.
Okay.
So I was excited. And then they ended up drafting a safety, and then it was weird. Things went pretty silent. My brother, I had some teammates from college over. My parents had a big to-do up in Auburndale.
Okay, so you're in Madison.
I'm in Madison. They're up in Auburndale, and I think they were going to just be happy with whatever. After that, I thought I would be a second-day guy. I didn't know when, 5th, 6th round. Obviously, you want to get drafted higher. And after the Lions passed, I kind of soured. And then it was more angst. And, Coach Eck was one of the guys over at the house, and, he was studying the draft and, was a big advocate for me. And I think when there was a guy from Florida that got drafted, and he just took all of his papers that he had, right in his note, and he fired him to the ground, and that's when I was like, I should have been smarter. Because should
have gone fishing like
should have done like Joe Thomas's way. Now, granted, he didn't have to wait very long, but it's just you have no control over something. It doesn't pay to act like you do. So I was not gonna. It wasn't gonna change me sitting there fretting about it. But it's really easy to say from here.
Right.
When you're in it, you're like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what the depth chart's going to look like. You have all of these big life things that are coming and could come at any moment. So when Green Bay called in the 7th round, I had already started kind of going through the process of if I become a free agent, where do I want to go?
Oh, boy.
So you start looking at that. Seattle had called right before. Seattle was going to draft me. Green Bay had a pick or two before Seattle. So there was a guy out in Seattle under Holmgren that I knew from Wisconsin. They called me. I was going to be a Seahawk. I don't know how many picks after Green Bay. And when Matt Klein from Green Bay called, I was like, let's go. Everything was kind of, that was it. Let's get ready to rock and roll. And from there, it was a sense of relief and excitement. And at that point, 3 days later, I'm driving up Highway 150, 126 to get up here to get to work.
You've always told us that it's about fit, right? And opportunity. And you don't know what the opportunity is going to turn out to be for you when you're drafted. But what went through your mind when it was Seattle's great. Would have been great if you'd been picked by Mike Holmgren, right? You'd watched his teams, all that stuff. But when it is the Packers and you're a Wisconsin guy, does that change? How much does that change
For me, it changed a lot. I mean, that was always, I mean, obviously, as the team I grew up and, watched and loved. So that was just another layer. But when you're going through the process, none of that is in your head.
I just want to get picked.
It's just I want to go to work. And
Right.
I want to find a spot that's going to work for me and that's, going to give me an opportunity to have a career. And when Green Bay picked me, it was, this is going to be awesome. And obviously, I think my family was excited. And there was a lot of things from that perspective that I thought were great. But it was more of, I just want to get an opportunity to go and play. And it worked out obviously great for me that it was the Packers and it was a team that I knew. I didn't have to go ahead and look a ton at depth charts because I followed the team as closely as you could when you're still playing college football. So it was the perfect fit for me, and I just wanted that opportunity. And fortunately, it came real quick, and I was ready for the challenge.
Well, happy 25th anniversary adjacent celebration.
How's it going to go with your wife if you say, "Hey, happy anniversary"? She's like, "That was 5 days ago."
Right, but it's a little bit like
similar.
It's a little bit like Easter, right? Like the draft isn't the exact same day, but it is draft weekend, and that was draft weekend. So
when
I
you
thought
say
I was on solid
when
ground.
you say anniversary, it's different. If you say happy draft week, what was it like 25 years ago in that week when you got drafted?
Well, I appreciate the constructive criticism.
Do you?
No,
it
I
doesn't
don't.
feel like you
What
do.
I do appreciate is we got a bunch of glazers and dunkers and
Oh,
coffee
yeah.
from Quick Trip, and I'm sure they told you we'll see you next time on your way.
They did. I made a stop. I was almost out of gas. I didn't push the envelope as much, but it's the beautiful part about being in Wisconsin. You're driving up, and it's Quick Trip after Quick Trip. Convenient. Whether you're craving that fresh coffee, a tasty bakery treat, a breakfast sandwich. Love that little sausage, egg, cheese croissant. That's kind of my go-to there. Apps. You got the mozzie sticks. Or, of course, ice cream. Right now you can get that gallon for just $4.99. Vanilla chocolate chip or vanilla mint chocolate chip cookies and cream. All the good stuff. Plus you get Nature's Touch milk, $2.99. Quick Trip's got everything you're looking for. Chicken, soup, it doesn't matter. Fuel your day with quality taste. Download the Quick Rewards app. Take advantage of everything Quick Trip has to offer. Quick Rewards on every visit. Plus you can order ahead for pickup or curbside delivery. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time.
We'll see Evan Cohen and Chris Canty on our program, two of the 3 stars of Unsportsmanlike. We will treat them with much greater kindness and respect than you received while you were on their program. Although Canty didn't get after
Canty
you,
was
did he?
fine. Yeah, Canty's a professional. Evan is professional adjacent.
Stand on the More Wilde and Tausch live from the NFL Draft and the Tundra Trio. Stick around.
We're on the Packers
If they're not better this year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
Your first time driving a stick shift. The car, sporty. Your teacher, nervous. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Online Activation Zone, so you can easily shift your direct deposits from your old clunker of a bank to Associated Bank in just a few clicks. You've got this with Activation Zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable
incredible stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Why is everyone coming on their riding mowers and UTVs?
I figured all the neighbors could use a break from yard work, so I invited them for a
ride-on lawnmower movie?
Or, as I like to say, a movie.
We've got the value you need to do things your way, like select bags of Timberline mulch, now 5 for $10. Save $30 on a 22-inch Yard Force push mower, and 20-pound bags of estate grass seed, $10 off. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Professional volleyball's historic first season from here in Madison is now complete, and Love Madison volleyball fans made it amazing. With some of the best players in the world, Olympic medalists, NCAA All-Americans, and one of the most talented rookie classes ever, this was volleyball at its highest level. And the best part, this is just the beginning. The energy, the talent, the community, it's all coming back even bigger next season. Volleyball is the next major league, and Madison is right at the heart of it.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for several years. Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services, explains why.
We started with the document imaging, and I have to say that the service and support has been fantastic.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
Lori, what's your recommendation to others that aren't getting that kind of attention from their business technology company?
Please call James Imaging, because they will work with you to make sure that you find a solution that can make you more efficient and productive.
Make the call, 608-221-3457, or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Hold on, I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone. I don't wanna move on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone for good.
Wilde and Tausch live from the Tundra Trio in advance of tonight's first round of the NFL Draft. Joining us now, I see Michelle Smallman is doing a different radio program with our teammates from ESPN Chicago. She is either the smart one or she's missing out on the fun of Wilde and Tausch.
I think we know the answer to that.
Joining us now, the other two-thirds of Unsportsmanlike, Evan Cohen, and the great Chris Canty on Wilde and Tausch.
So I am the sportsman part of Unsportsmanlike. Smallman is the like part of Unsportsmanlike, and Evan is the part of Unsportsmanlike.
We've never actually broken it down that way, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it is.
Chris, she's likable. You know sports, and I'm just
Yes.
How long did it take for you to understand Evan?
Oh, boy.
One phone call.
That's it?
One phone call. First phone call.
One call, that's all?
First phone call. First phone call when we got on the phone, I was like, this guy's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got my advanced scouting report from Willie Colon, who worked with him before.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay. And then I sat down to have lunch with the guy before we started up the show, and I was just like, okay, settle in. This is going to be a process. You know how sometimes you can step out on the field and you say, oh, man, that guy can play?
Yeah.
That was not that with Evan Cohen. It was not. It was the exact opposite end of
It's
the
like a
spectrum.
3-year red shirt type deal, and maybe he
I was a
can-
gray shirt.
There you go.
Exactly.
Wait, do you remember? We haven't actually talked about this. That lunch, and Jason and Mark have known me forever, but so they'll believe this. I remember I brought a notebook, and I was itching to break out the notes, and it took me to like I would say 45 minutes into lunch, I'm like, so you guys want me to go through this? Like, you're like, yeah, fine, just go through it already.
He couldn't wait to get to the damn notebook. We're like, dude, let's just have a conversation
None
and
of
get
that's
to know each
surprising.
other.
No, I needed the notebook.
So what did you learn about Evan when you in that first meeting? Besides the fact that he's nuts.
Besides the fact that he's corny?
Yeah.
A little bit? Okay. What I learned, though, and with respect, there is nobody that works harder in the industry than Evan Cohen. Nobody works harder than this dude. Nobody wants to be great more than Evan Cohen. There's nothing that he won't do for the betterment of our show, including completely debasing himself, where everybody looks at him as the laughingstock.
Yes.
But there is nothing that he won't do for the team. He puts himself. He puts himself above the team.
Wait, what?
He puts himself above the team in terms of making himself the show, so we can all laugh at him. But no, he's a good dude, and he works so hard, and I appreciate that because this guy just wants to be great. He wants our show to be great, and he's willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to that end.
And you know what's great? He's super uncomfortable. You could rip him, and he's comfortable.
Yep.
Here you're saying nice things, and he's cowering over.
Well,
in the
I was
corner.
just thinking about how much I feel the same about Cece and how he works so hard all the time, and he's so prepped, and he's so passionate about radio, which I think is really important in this, and how awkward it must be for Jason having an ex-player who's not that way.
Wow.
Did you see how he pivoted there?
Yeah, he's a good pivoter. So you guys have been here a day. What, Chris, you've come here to play a
and
bunch.
now we've pivoted again.
So when you came here, it was when you came here to play. Obviously, I think players look at it and say, "Man, great history, great tradition." What else, especially when it's cold and all that stuff? How much of that stuff mattered as a former player when you would come into Lambeau?
Oh, it didn't matter at all because every time you came to Lambeau was a special, special place. So the whole bit about the frozen tundra, while it is cold, that's not what you're thinking about when you come out of that tunnel. When you come out of that tunnel, you look it up, you're seeing Bart Starr, you're seeing Don Hudson, you're seeing all the all-time greats, and you're thinking, this is football royalty. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of former players refer to Canton as the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They refer to it as football heaven. Well, I'll tell you what, Lambeau Field gives Canton a run for its money in terms of being football heaven. This isn't a religious experience. This is a pilgrimage anytime you come to Green Bay, Wisconsin, if you're a football fan. And so as a player, you're not thinking about how cold it is. You're thinking you want to show up and show out just because of how special this venue is. This is the most special venue in the National Football League, period. I never played for the Green Bay Packers. Came close a couple of times, visited as a free agent. Never played for the Green Bay Packers, but coming here every single time, it is a pilgrimage, a religious experience.
Hold on. Jason Wilde covers the Packers forever, right? Did you know that Canty came here twice to visit?
So I did, because there is occasionally prep that's done on this show. I know it doesn't.
Today
seem
is
like
one of those days?
One of those rare days. So
You want to see the show sheet? It's less than usual.
I went back into the archives. For Packers fans, tell them the story of the Packers' free agent interest in you and what ultimately prevented it from happening.
So we had two times. All right, so the first one was when I was a free agent in 2009, and I visited the New York Giants, and I had a scheduled visit for the Green Bay Packers the very next day. As you know, first 48, 72 hours of free agency, that's where all the big money is spent. The Green Bay Packers, although they were never players in the expensive part of free agency under Ted Thompson, I was one of the rare exceptions where they considered it. Mm-hmm. And so I was scheduled to fly out to visit the Packers. The New York Giants didn't want to pay me what I wanted. I was looking for a certain number. They didn't want to pay me more than what they were paying OC or Justin Tuck. And so I had to visit to Green Bay lined up right after that. Well, a snowstorm rolls into the New York metro area that night when I'm visiting the Giants. And as the storm is coming in, the Green Bay Packers are like, look, we just need you to get here. We can't commit to the number, but we need you to get here because, we're willing to play in that ballpark. We're willing to spend what it takes. But as I was trying to get out of New York City because of the storm coming, and the Giants didn't let me leave, and they ultimately ended up giving me the contract. So that's how Green Bay missed out the first time. The second time.
Okay.
So I remember the second time vividly because they were so disappointed that they didn't get you the first time. You were a priority from what I recall.
That is correct. And so when I became a free agent after I got cut by the New York Giants in 2013, the Green Bay Packers set me up for a visit, came into town. But
they came to you?
No, I came into town.
Oh, you came to town.
I came into town, toured the facilities, looked around, everything. I loved it. I mean, the facilities are second to none because they invest so much in that team. But Ozzie Newsome, Hall of Fame player, should be a Hall of Fame executive, got on the phone with me and my agent, convinced me that the Baltimore Ravens was the right place for me to be. And because of my respect for Ozzie Newsome, because I'm a historian of the game, couldn't tell the guy no.
So I had heard another story, though.
Happened.
We haven't talked about this. So, Jason, this is the story I heard. Second visit, he said, you know the movie Hoosiers, Coach stays, I play? He said, Tausch goes, I come.
That's 4 years later. It would have been funnier if it was 09. 13, not as funny.
Oh, you're really going to do the math on that? That's a good bit.
It's not bad. It's not your best.
So now that we've covered your free agency.
Yep.
We just got done going over Tausch's draft day, where he thought he was going to go earlier. He waited and waited, started to sour a little bit, and then he ends up with his home state team. Think back to your draft day. What are your recollections of that?
I hated it.
I feel like that's the answer I get more
There's
often
only
than not.
one player that's going to be happy where he gets drafted tonight. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, Cam Ward.
That's it. Everybody else is going to think they deserve to be drafted higher. My draft day was awful. I actually didn't go day one. I went day two. I was a fourth-round pick, the last pick in the fourth round. The irony of that is that the Philadelphia Eagles traded out of that. No, the New England Patriots traded out of that spot so the New York Giants could trade in. Not the New York Giants. The Dallas Cowboys could trade in and draft me. So that was the irony of that draft day. But I was the last pick in the fourth round. And it got to the point as I was watching the draft on day one where I just stopped watching it altogether. I said, you know what, to hell with this. I'm going to go do something else. Jerry Jones calls me the next day and says, you want to be a Dallas Cowboy? I'm like, sure, just tell me, what airport, like whatever. Like, all right, I'm going to the Dallas Cowboys. Great. I'm a fourth-round pick. So I know that my NFL life is going to be more of an uphill climb than the guys that went on day one.
By the time you were drafted, Evan had stopped writing down the names.
No, all 7 rounds, Jason. Come on now.
Yeah.
We've talked about how, and I haven't done it yet, I have every notebook from every show I've ever done since 2003. And so at some point when I have more time on my hands, probably when my kids are away for camp, I need to go and find his draft to see what I wrote about him. Like terrible pick by the Cowboys in the fourth round. But I liked him coming out of college. I always told him I wanted him on the Patriots because of my obsession with the Parcells and Belichick guy. Yeah. He played for Al Groh. So I'm like, oh, you got to go get that guy. Tausch, I don't know if we've ever I'm actually going to have a serious, real conversation with you for a second.
That's interesting.
It may not last long, but I don't think we've ever talked about your draft day because you were going to stop playing football in college. You decided to stick around, and fifth year.
Yep.
And then you ended up as a 7th-round pick.
Yeah.
Did you think you were going to get drafted?
So, yes, I did. And I think, and this is, kind of what Chris was saying, we all want to have control of what's happening. And in this case, most people can control. You want to go work at ESPN West Palm. You want to go do that. You can control that. You put in the work, and then it's out of your hands. And you still feel like if you're watching it, maybe you have your buddies, and you're sitting there and you see guys that you feel like you've went through this process you should go ahead of.
Yes.
And when that happens and your friends are disappointed, it just becomes a kind of a soul-sucking experience until you actually get picked.
Right.
So once I ended up getting picked, there was relief, but then it was also let's just get to work at that point because you want to get picked higher because there's more money involved and all of those things that come into play, but you have nothing to do. So Joe Thomas has had it right from the jump. Go do something fun. If I had to do it again, you go fish, go golf, have somebody reach out. They're going to pick you if they want to pick you. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your living room or if you're doing something that you enjoy.
How many picks behind Brady were you drafted?
25.
And who had the better career?
I think Tom. Now I did see, and this will.
Nobody's had a better career.
I don't think. So
you don't think Tausch did?
I thought because I was 224 and I had an 11-year career and all the stuff. I thought that Rick Gosselin put this thing out.
I remember this.
He put this thing out just recently. The best picks at every spot from 1 to 280, and I was thinking, 224, I'll have a shot. Jay Ratliff.
That's his buddy.
Jay Ratliff, and I couldn't. And my kids were sitting there, they're scrolling through because it's on Twitter, and I said I can't even argue. He's a 3 or 4 time Pro Bowler. I thought maybe I was his runner-up.
We were at dinner.
And I looked at that as a positive.
We were at dinner.
Think about that's crazy. Jay Ratliff, who was a groomsman at my wedding, by the way, good friend of mine. Jay Ratliff
Strong.
was 224, pick 224.
Yep.
He was the 4th D lineman that the Cowboys took in that draft class alone.
Yeah.
Behind
DeMarcus Ware, Marcus Spears, myself.
Wow, that's
a ridiculous draft.
That's a good draft class.
That's 74 Steelers style.
And we had Marion Barber in that draft class, too.
Wait, so you guys both had 11-year careers.
Yeah.
Is there any significance to that? Like, do guys that seems like a lot, right? 10 years. What's for the pension?
4
3
years.
and a half. Yeah, you got to be 4.
Okay, so it has, but that speaks volumes about
that.
both of you guys, right? 11 years. That's pretty significant.
But you know
right?
what? And Tausch talked about it. Once you get drafted, once you get past the initial disappointment because you feel like you got picked later than you should have, it's about getting to work. And I think when you're a later round draft pick, if you're a day 3 guy, if you're 4th round on, there's no guarantee that you're going to make the team. So
you're trying to make the team every year.
You're making the team every year.
You never lose that attitude.
You're making the team every year. Like when you're not entitled to anything when you're picked at that point in the NFL draft. So like that, I don't know about you. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that
That's fine. They're
chip,
not going to be smart if they come out
that
of his
chip,
mouth.
that chip was always on my shoulder.
Well, Tausch's favorite phrase when we talk about the draft and draft status is 7th-round picks constantly have to prove they belong in the league. 1st-round picks always have to prove that they don't because they just
You
keep
can use
getting
that, Evan.
opportunities.
Write that down in your notebook.
I'm really glad that Evan brought up the fact that you guys had 11-year careers because it segues into the question I wanted to ask Chris because we've talked a little bit about this. And by the way, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen
Good,
of
Jason.
Unsportsmanlike
It's been a little
joining
long.
us on
Good job.
One is not like the other, by the way. Just want to point that out.
One-play quarterback, no big deal.
I can't believe you didn't wear the jersey and take it out of the frame. I'm so disappointed. I asked Brian Gutekunst this question earlier this week, and then I saw Jay Glazer talking about it, that teams are now trying to gauge how much players love the game. And the reason I asked Goody about it is because I hear him say all the time over the last X number of drafts, this guy really loves football. He's all about ball. And I was thinking, I would never question that with you guys, right? You love the game. But because of the economics, the explosion of the salary cap, the money these guys can make because of NIL now and guys coming into the league with money potentially, it's not necessarily I remember guys, they would hang on for one more year to get one more year of NFL money. They don't have to do that now. Do you see a shift in today's player, not to make you guys old-timers, but do you see a shift in that of you really do need to discern whether or not the guys you're drafting love football? Because if they don't, they're probably going to have brief careers, and you're probably not going to be happy with your pick in terms of the long-term.
I think, if anything, it makes it easier to filter through the guys that don't love football just because they have an opportunity to be millionaires before they even get drafted into the NFL. So you know whether or not, a guy is going to change based on what he's compensated, right? You're going to see him get monetized at the collegiate level. Some of these guys are getting NIL in high school. So, I mean, it's not as if you don't have any data points to lean on when it comes to trying to discern whether or not this guy really loves ball. Now, if you want to get a sense of whether or not this guy is all about football, talk to the other guys that are in the locker room with him. Because you can lie to a lot of people. You can't lie to the locker room. But the locker room is the ultimate truth teller when it comes to, whether or not a guy is built the right way, whether or not he has the right sports character to bring into your franchise. So I think that's the part that I think has become easier for talent evaluators. Because these guys are monetized at such an earlier age, you get to see more of the issues that could potentially crop up because they're getting paid a lot of money.
And that's why Bo Callahan didn't get drafted. That's what happened.
I was at his birthday party. I don't know why they didn't bring that up.
Do you think on the flip side, because of what those guys have and being told how great they are and being paid and everything else, that they don't have the same chip that you guys might have had coming into the league?
Well, that goes the other way, too. When you have a guy that really loves ball and he's paid for it in college, there is what do they call it? It ends up being a situation where there's a realization that, hey, I get paid money to do this well. I'm going to work harder at it because I want more money. It's that positive reinforcement. So, I mean, you could say that, oh, well, the guy gets the carrot, he stops working for it. Well, no, you see it in some instances where the guy just wants more carrots. Like he's like, you know what? Oh, I can play football and get paid for this and be a millionaire with NIL in college. Think of what I can do if I work harder and get to the NFL. And it just keeps going and going and going. So I think you get guys that fall into both buckets. But now, because you can see them get paid earlier in their athletic career, it makes it clear and obvious what those guys' motivations are as they continue to rise.
And you would have been a big NIL guy if they had it during your days, right?
No, I would have just loved to.
Linemen aren't NIL guys. Linemen are not NIL guys.
I'm just looking for NIL reimbursement for the walk-on years that I had.
Right? Where is that?
That would be nice.
Where is
but that would have been nice. What do you guys think from now that let's talk draft tonight since we're here. What do you guys think the big storylines are tonight?
Shedeur. I think it starts with Shedeur where he goes, and I think that, CC and I both have been playing out.
I saw ESPN bet 21.5, right? Is that the number?
Yes, correct.
What do you think?
This is impossible because I think the Steelers almost have to take him if they stay at 21. I wonder if the Steelers will consider trading down to avoid having to take him if they don't want to take him.
But isn't that admitting that you don't want to take him?
Yes, but at least you get paid off to not take him. So I think that what CC and I have been trying to do is connect a lot of dots, right? So we have Schefter on every week who's unbelievable with us. And he talked about the idea that Jacksonville is this wild card. Then you have Diana Rossini of The Athletic saying people around the league think Jacksonville is going to be electric in the draft. Then you have Peter Schrager, ESPN NFL analyst, saying Cleveland could trade down. So we've been playing out this hypothetical.
That Cleveland trade down is fascinating.
Yeah, so that's what we've been playing out, this mega deal that Cleveland trades down with Jacksonville. Jacksonville moves up. They're the Travis Hunter team. Could Cleveland make a million moves? Could they trade back in to get Shedeur? I think a lot of it centers around Shedeur, but I think the hypothetical of the Jacksonville-Cleveland that we've been playing out is interesting, which has not been reported anywhere. We're just trying to connect dots.
Yeah, beyond Shedeur Sanders for me, I think the next interesting thing about tonight's draft is not any players that are going to be selected at all. I think it's what happens with the veteran player movement. There's a crop of players that are going to be moved at some point over the weekend.
Pickens.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson, Pickens, Kirk Cousins, Jair Alexander. Like, there's just a whole crop of veteran players that could potentially be on the move this weekend. Teams are looking to move off of them, and I think the draft is an inflection point when it comes to the offseason calendar where teams are going to look to solidify some needs. There are going to be teams that miss out on prospects that they want to draft this year, and they're going to look to the veteran trade market in order to fill those needs.
So, Jason, you reported earlier this week that Aaron Rodgers hates J.J. McCarthy.
I remember that report. That was good.
No, do you believe – Jason, I know you've said this publicly. You spoke to Rodgers this week?
I texted with him, yes.
Okay, this week. Do you believe you know where he's going?
No, because I don't think he knows where he's going.
Okay.
But your facetious report of mine.
Yes.
Just so people who weren't listening earlier in the week know that that's not what I reported.
Oh, Tausch, what do you think? You're with him every day.
Yeah, I know what he thinks.
I do believe that he is waiting, whether he'll admit it or not, and I know he does have genuine things going on in his inner circle with people he cares about that are dealing with stuff. That was not a made-up story on McAfee. I do believe he is waiting to see if J.J. McCarthy falls flat on his face.
So does that eliminate Pittsburgh?
Belief.
Oh, right. So your belief, Jason Wilde's belief, having texted with Rodgers this week. Do you believe that Pittsburgh is then eliminated? Because what would change in the Pittsburgh dynamic?
Them getting Kirk Cousins would be one, right?
Well,
because he has told them, and he said this to Pat last week, that, hey, if you need to move off of me, if you need to move on, I understand.
Does he want Pittsburgh to move off of him?
I think again, my opinion.
What a
not
great
my
follow-up.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
EFCO.
Nice.
Not all.
Make sure you get that. Evan, what a great job breaking that.
He's going to pop a hamstring with that backpedaling. My goodness.
Jason Wilde, in your belief, does Aaron Rodgers want Pittsburgh to move on from him?
Didn't we already do this?
No, you just stumbled.
And fumbled.
Grab the hamstring.
Jason Wilde, in your belief, does Aaron Rodgers want Pittsburgh to move off of him?
Not entirely, because I think he still wants to have a backup plan of somewhere else to go if J.J. McCarthy does not fail in Minnesota.
Jason Wilde, in your opinion, if the Pittsburgh Steelers make a move for Shedeur Sanders or Kirk Cousins by Monday, is Aaron Rodgers going to be heartbroken or will he be fine?
I think he'll be fine.
Jason Wilde, in your belief, if the Minnesota Vikings say to Aaron Rodgers,
this is super fun, by the way.
I don't mind it. You always complain nobody asks you questions.
This is great.
Go ahead, Elio.
Text it with Aaron Rodgers this week. In your belief, if the Minnesota Vikings and his friend Kevin O'Connell calls Aaron Rodgers this week and says, Aaron, we're going to be friends on Monday. We're just not going to be business partners, so to speak, on Monday. Will he be heartbroken?
Heartbroken is strong.
Will he be upset?
But I think he's
disappointed.
Disappointed would be a good word, sure.
Okay.
All right, that was really fun. I was going to get rid of you
Is
guys
there
at least
another
3 or 4
team?
minutes ago.
Is there another team?
San Francisco.
That he would be interested if they called him?
I think there's probably several teams he'd be interested if they called him. I don't know.
Are there other teams of those several?
I got pictures of Apollo here. I didn't get information.
That's the dog. Okay.
Into his
Hold on.
plans.
These are fair questions. Are there?
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact.
What a great job I'm doing. Oh, thank you.
This is a police station interrogation.
This is,
I love it.
There's the heat
I love
light.
it.
The heat lamp is
I
coming
love
down.
it, right?
Jason Wilde, in your opinion, are of those other teams that he would be interested if they called, are any of them realistic calls that could be made? In other words, I'm sure he'd love to play for Kansas City. I'm sure he'd love to play for Philadelphia. Those are not realistic calls as long as their quarterbacks are healthy.
I will just say this about him, and it goes back to loving ball and loving competition. I don't think he wants to play just to play. I think there are teams that if, let's say something catastrophic happens to their quarterback and they have a Super Bowl team and now they've lost their quarterback, he would do a Joe Flacco to those teams in a heartbeat.
So he'd consider waiting around Roger Clemens style.
Yes.
Waiting for when the Yankees need me, I'll play, but if they don't need me, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Did Clemens have it where he only had to pitch at home, too? What a power move that is.
I don't think so. You work every other day.
What does that mean?
You do the same thing.
From home.
I'm not going to get into how many. We can put our days off against each other. I feel pretty good about that.
I took 2 days off.
You took 2 weeks off.
When did I take 2 weeks off?
End of the year.
We all do together.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do we not?
We do.
You guys were great. Appreciate you guys.
Now Tausch wants us out. All right, guys.
Thanks for coming by.
All right, see ya.
We'll see you guys later. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The chance to live out a dream. Wisconsin's Jack Nelson hoping to get his shot in the NFL. The tackle on his growth during his 4 seasons as a Badger.
I learned to be a leader. I learned to deal with the ups and downs. I knew that, I learned to deal that everything's not going to be perfect. You're going to have a bad play. I learned to play a bunch of different styles of football, a bunch of different techniques. I had 4 O-line coaches. And, now sitting here, I think I'm an experienced, tough, durable, and better player with my poise.
Catch Nelson's full interview on the latest episode of The Jump Around, streaming on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
But not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
At Metro Ford of Madison, you pay what employees pay. Customers pay employee pricing on all in-stock new Ford vehicles. This month, drive away in the 2025 Ford Explorer with financing as low as 5.9% for 72 months. $16.53 cost per thousand borrowed. Or get the 2024 Ford Mach-E with financing as low as 0.9% for 72 months. $14.27 cost per thousand borrowed. Hurry! These offers end April 30th. Head to Metro Ford of Madison or visit MetroFordofMadison.com today.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world 'cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes 'cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly.
Continuing live from the Tundra Trio. Thanks to Evan Cohen and Chris Canty for joining us from Unsportsmanlike.
Isn't it funny how Evan was so uncomfortable when Canty was just, giving him flowers?
Yeah, I would just – I'm not going to criticize Evan for that because I'm kind of the same way. But the weird thing is I don't like to be criticized or praised.
Yeah, it's a weird deal.
It is a weird deal. But it was great to have them. Obviously, you were on their show earlier. The NFL Draft is exclusively on ESPN Radio. Every pick, every round, live, presented by ZipRecruiter, GNC, and American Family Insurance. Be sure to tune in for all the full Round 1 reaction tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. All right, Tausch, the one thing I didn't get to ask them was their Vontae Mack, no matter what guy that they like in this draft. We'll do that during the 10 o'clock hour as we get back on schedule here. But not before you tell us about the fantastic contest that you and Kohler Services got going on.
Indeed, if you think that your shower is ugly and it stank and it's mold and it's just bleh, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yeah, you heard me right. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of that stank old shower bath. And then you get the installation of that brand new, beautiful, sparkling Kohler Lugstone shower. Upload that photo of your bad bathroom by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win that free Lugstone shower.
Who is your, and I understand there are some of you out there like Josh DiMaggio who don't love the movie Draft Day the way I do, but who is your yellow Post-it note Vontae Mack guy for the Packers? We'll talk about that to kick off the 10 o'clock hour, live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field. Stick around, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The keys of a new Audi are in reach at Audi of Madison. Save $3,000 on a new 2025 Audi Q5, A3 sedan, A5 Sportback, or A6 sedan. National credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until April 30th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see the current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline at Rimrock Road.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. At long last, it's finally here, folks. It is draft day in Green Bay, and there's no better place to get your draft coverage fixed than right here on ESPN Wisconsin. We'll be live and local from 9 to 2, and then from 6, or whenever the Brewers game ends, through the end of round 1 from Titletown. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss a moment. However, there are, in fact, other sports going on right now as well, including baseball, as last night the Milwaukee Brewers fell to the San Francisco Giants out in the Bay by a score of 4-2. The Crew will look to split the 4-game set with San Fran this afternoon. Tobias Myers will be making his season debut. His first pitch is scheduled for 2:45, with pregame coverage beginning at 2:15. Finally, in basketball, just moments ago, Shams Charania reports that the Bucks and general manager John Horst have agreed to a multi-year extension. Wilde and Tausch live from Lambeau continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The NFL selects Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The NFL draft gets underway in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited.
Right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The week of the draft.
I just hope it doesn't make us look bad. That's all.
We need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency.
Next thing you know, you have another guy that you feel awesome about.
The Packers are one of the toughest teams to nail down in the first round.
The depth of this class outshines the star power of this class.
Michael Williams. Pushed immediately and slung down by Michael Williams.
Maxwell Hairston, the corner from Kentucky.
Throws down the middle of the field. Maxwell Hairston. Big time pick.
There were plenty of spots you could put Shamar Stewart. Teams want to roll the dice on talent.
Down he goes. Shamar Stewart on the sack.
In terms of Emeka Ibuka, a professional receiver.
Caught in stride. Ibuka touchdown. And we'll look at the focus and concentration.
Wow. I am a huge Hunter Wohler fan. Any safety who hits like that, I'm going to be a fan of you.
Dropped. And guess who made the lift? Is Hunter Wohler.
So Green Bay, you're on the clock.
Welcome to my house.
I just don't know exactly what they feel like they need the most right now.
If they're not better this year, there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
I think they're one marquee player away.
With the 23rd pick.
They've needed receivers in the first round and not
This
done it.
has to be the most important draft of Brian Gutekunst's tenure.
Yeah, I think it's time that we start competing for championships.
The Green Bay Packers select.
Welcome to my house.
It's my house.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field on Draft Day 2025.
That music just gets you fired up.
It does. Thanks again to Chris Canty and Evan Cohen for spending some time with us and going through their memories, especially Chris, of Draft Day.
And before we get into your pick.
The draft and who's your notepad guy. What do you make of this when players come in here like Cam Ward? Oh, there ain't blank to do in Green Bay. It's cold as blank out here. I can't wait to get out of here. It's only here to get drafted. I think Wisconsinites take that stuff to heart, man.
Yeah, we don't appreciate
we
that.
want
It's a good thing he's not going to be the Packers quarterback.
We want people – well, he would change his tune if he was. We want people to enjoy our state. Yeah. We are people pleasers by nature. I think we are very – there is a –
we want to be liked, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I just – and you saw it. I'm not going to get into other names of people. It's like, oh, this is everything is just like an old cow town or all this other stuff. It's just not – that is not the case, and it does irritate us, and it shouldn't. And I'm not going to let it. But I don't like that.
Sounds like you're letting it.
Well, I don't like that. I don't.
So when did he say this?
I don't know. I just saw Dove tweeted it. So take that for what it's worth. And if it's not what he said, I'll apologize. But
no, I'm guessing that's probably what he said.
Yeah. And listen, man, I get it. Not everybody. This isn't everybody's cup of tea. I get that.
So I think if you listen to Johnny Montage, Jesse Nelson, and what he played earlier in each hour, or Riley played it, there's the clip of Rob Domofsky way back when saying, I just don't want us to look bad. As I have watched this unfold, and obviously I agree with you, tonight it's going to be great.
Yep.
And there's going to be lots of people here that are going to be very excited.
Yep.
But I do think that for those of us that played, in your case, or covered this team, or are just Wisconsin people, we look at this with through a very romantic lens, right? And you heard Chris Canty talking about as a player coming here and the history and the mecca of football and everything else. But I think if you are a football fan who is coming here for their experience, you've been to Nashville, right? You've been down, what is it, Broadway? That is the line of honky tonks. Like, we're not competing with that here. There's not bachelorette parties don't make plans to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin every year for their bachelorette parties. This is not that. And so I do wonder what kind of numbers we're going to see of fans here and how much, when your team is not on the clock, what folks are doing for fun. I do worry about that.
I'm not going to worry about it. I think.
But you're bothered by Cam Ward.
No, it paints a narrative that I don't like. And that doesn't mean I'm worried about it. It's irritating. But, no, the bottom line on it is I think we're probably, as sports fans, I've asked this question numerous times because we get the Giannis is going to leave because it's a small market. The Brewers can't compete because it's a small market. Oh, we're the smallest market. We're pretty blanking good. And I think we just need to put our chest out. And if you don't like it, tough luck. Tough luck.
I think we are sensitive for sure. And we do want people to
But I want us to start saying tough luck. That's what I want.
Like your guy Jocko. Good. There's not enough stuff to do here. Good.
It's like that author that I'm going to read that I was stuck in the car and I couldn't get away. Let him. You want to sit here and cry and pout about, there's nothing to do. Let him. I'm going to do what we do.
So the flip side of that, and I know there have been players that did not like it here because they're 24 years old and single and they want to be in the big city. They want to be in Miami. They want to be in New York. They want to be in L.A. But we have heard players many times over the years say it's like college. I love that it's all football.
Let me ask you this.
I don't know how many of those – I want to know how many mean that.
I'm not going to argue with you. There is no doubt there's guys that get drafted here that want to be in Miami.
Tucker Kraft is at the other end.
A.J. Dillon was at the other end. But what I will ask you is, how many guys that leave here end up flourishing somewhere else and not coming back to retire here?
You're right.
Almost nobody. So, yes, as a young 21, 22-year-old, maybe it isn't until it is. And if it's about football and having a career and having all of the things, you're going to be fulfilled. And that's a positive. But I get it. I understand it. But I'm not going to play into the narrative anymore. I'm done with that.
So do you remember guys, because you've talked about this, and this is one of my favorite things about the NFL. It's so many guys from so many different backgrounds, economically, socially,
One can have grown up on a dairy farm, another one grew up in the inner city.
Slurpee in one and a pretzel in the other.
And you find a way, I guess. You find a way because that's what teams do, right? There's the connectivity. Do you remember guys who were miserable here? You don't have to say who they were.
Yes.
But guys that were miserable that this did not have that type of lifestyle.
Yes, and I don't think they got to their full potential either.
And you think they would have had it?
I don't know.
Like, I guess my question is, if you're in Miami, there's also a heck of a lot more distractions that prevent you from reaching
Vegas.
your
Go ahead
full
and look.
potential.
Yes, and there is, I think you need to, and this is where people say, with Goody or Ted, Packer people, and what that means, it's about football.
Mm-hmm.
It's about community and football. And if your top priorities aren't that, you're going to have a hard time making it anyways. And you're going to have a really hard time making it here. So I get it. I understand it. But now more than ever, when you're talking about being only here 6 months a year,
right?
Get over it. Get on board or get out would be my thing.
Yeah, well, and look, you went into the Packers Hall of Fame with our friend Ryan Longwell, who got – this is this kind of sensitivity we're talking about. He and Sarah used to eat at the Applebee's on Oneida Street all the time. It wasn't like – was it a little bit derogatory? Yes, but remember how angry people were at Ryan for saying that? So your point about the sensitivity is on.
It is. There's no doubt because we want to be viewed as the mecca of football. And for most football fans, this is a destination you want to come. And if you don't want to live here full time, fine.
Right.
You don't have to sewer it either. Well, you don't have to sewer things either, you know? So I get it. We are probably more sensitive than we need to be. I'm going to move it along. Well, but I am no longer am I going to be sitting here and saying, "How dare he say that?" Let him, and then be done.
When
proud of his town.
There you go.
Know, that's a damn rare thing these days.
When we talk about Tucker Kraft, who is playing pickleball at the Pickler and spending his off season here, his wife is pregnant. Their baby's going to be born.
He's building
in Green
saunas.
Bay, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Are those guys rare? You obviously were a Wisconsin guy.
I don't think so.
Start.
When you start looking at it, I'm not telling every player they need to live in Green Bay when they're done. No, that is not what I'm saying. But when you're here, this place embraces you.
That's true.
And I've seen this numerous times. You are very smart to embrace back. The guys that do, they're rewarded handsomely. This isn't rocket science. Embrace back where you're being embraced.
Well, another guy that is proud of his town and proud of his community and proud to be a Wisconsinite is our friend David Gruber, who's been with us from the very beginning. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Again, I've told you this a million times now. I hope you never have to call him because then you haven't been seriously injured in an accident. But if you have been, there is only one call to make. He is a Wisconsin institution, and his team is the best in the business. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. More Wilde and Tausch live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field on Draft Day 2025. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6. And follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions. Presented by Siding Unlimited, your local window installation pros.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
An annual storyline with the green and gold is whether or not a new wide receiver will be drafted in the first round. It's something that hasn't happened since 2002.
Green Bay Packers exercised the 20th pick in this draft to select Javon Walker, wide receiver from Florida State.
Javon Walker, the big athletic wideout from Florida State, was taken 20th overall by Green Bay. After promising rookie and sophomore seasons, Walker spent his third season in 2004 breaking out and earning a Pro Bowl nod.
Far throws, passes, caught for a touchdown, Walker. And the Green Bay Packers are out in
This
front.
Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I close my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt. Dancing around that college bar. These days I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories.
Wilde and Tausch rolls on from the Tundra Trio in advance of tonight's first round of the NFL Draft. There was some breaking news. You heard Riley, if you're listening on ESPN Madison, mention it in his Sports Center. Sham Charania reporting that the Bucs have reached a agreement on a contract extension with John Horst.
Your buddy.
I think his first media interview was with us.
Yeah.
After he got the job, we were at the AmFam Championship, and
has he done a
Big
good job?
Buck show.
Has he done a good job?
He put together a NBA championship team, so sure.
Okay.
More titles than Goody.
Good point.
Not as many John Horst stands as there are Goody stands on our panel, but yeah, look, he'll be defined.
Well, he didn't draft Giannis, so
he didn't. That's true. And the NFC Championship games that the Packers reached were with a quarterback that Goody didn't draft.
Agreed.
So, all right. Well, he will be making a selection tonight, barring trading out of the first round entirely, which Mark Murphy predicted they would get booed if they did that. I'm not sure I agree with that assessment, but maybe. I am curious, Tausch, have you settled on your guy, your Vontae Mack, for the Packers tonight?
I have. I kind of came to the grips, and it really hit me when you made that comment last week about the receiver position and drafting a first-round wideout. And I know Green Bay doesn't do it very often. And I know we've had a ton of success with 2nd, 3rd, 7th. Been a lot of successful, great wide receivers through here. Now you can say, well, is it the quarterback? It doesn't matter. It's been a very effective way that the Packers have handled their business. And you don't want to get caught up and say, well, this is how we always have done things around here. I don't want that. Last year wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough at that position, and that does not say these guys don't get a chance to redeem themselves. But Ronald Reagan it. Let's
Trust but verify.
We're not getting the verification yet, so if it gets verified, great. If there is a guy, and I know this is going to be a fun little thing, and I know Packer fans are going to be watching, and every time a wideout comes off the board, if it's your guy from Arizona, Cat from Ohio State, Golden from Texas, however this shakes out, if all of those guys go, and I think Dallas is going to be a critical spot, there's been people have talked about them drafting an O-lineman. If they go wide out, and it ends up being Teteroa
McMillan,
if that's who they end up going with, that's obviously somebody Green Bay has put a lot of time and effort in.
Showing him a lot of love.
I don't think we're going to get there. And if that's the case, I think all things, then you're looking, and it seems like everybody is all in on this corner. Is it the corner
Maxwell
from
Hairston from Kentucky?
And if that happens, I think everybody will be okay with that. But it just doesn't seem like we've gotten that right. We've said last year it was all Cooper DeJean and all. I think if it's a corner or a wideout, Packer fans are going to be excited. I would like to see the burner. I want to see some speed, especially the fact that Watson's going to miss some time. If you can find that guy at 23, I'm all in. And if it is going to be Golden, which is where we've seen, I think, 2 or 3 of the last mocks from people that look like they know or have had good track records, that would be the guy. I want Green Bay to draft a first-round wideout, and I hope that we end up going 3 for 5 with Hall of Fame players being drafted in the Super Bowl era first at the wide receiver position.
So is there a position like, all right, and let's take quarterback. They're not taking Shedeur Sanders.
They're not.
You and I actually agree on the idea that if there is a running back who's too good to pass up, and look, Ashton
Davenport is going to be the guy that might be there.
I don't think that they will go there, but I don't think you can rule that out. Is there a position that Goody can go tonight that is not going to get booed like the Justin Harrell pick in 2007 when Ted had to deal with that at the draft party?
Fans ended up being right about that.
They were. Is there a position that they could pick that Packers fans will be meh or worse, legitimately disappointed?
No.
Even if they pick another offensive tackle?
No, I mean, you could be disappointed, but I think Packer fans also, we need to be better up front. The fans want certain things, and they're going to want corner, they're going to want edge, or they're going to want wideout. And if it's not that, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of like, who's that? Wait, what? And unless it's quarterback or a specialist, I just think this team, where it's at, could use a great player. And I don't care where that ends up being. I think the only other spot I would say is safety, just because I think that's the one spot.
So well stocked.
You feel like it's super solidified, but we've seen this movie before. We don't need a wideout. And next thing you know, you got Jeff Janis running down trying to make plays at the end, and you can't run a two-point play because you don't have enough guys. So find a great football player. It's not easy. I understand that. But don't get caught up, and I know Goody isn't going to get caught up. The fans are not going to like this one. It's not going to be part of the equation.
All right, I want to get into a little bit more about the draft and what could happen tonight. I do want to explore the idea, because you made the comment when we were talking with Chris Canty and Evan Cohen about there is a feeling that there is a drop-off in the first round of guys that are worthy of being a first-round pick. Well, there's going to be 32 people that get picked in the first round, whether you think they are first-round graded or not. But if that drop-off occurs and Goody doesn't have one on his board that he thinks is deserving, if he's got a trade partner, does he move back? And on the flip side, if he's looking at his board and saying, I don't have guys that are worthy of the 23rd pick, I'm going to go up and get one that I know is worthy of being a first-round pick. That's the intrigue for me tonight that I'm very eager to see if it's going to play out that way. We will get to some of those thoughts coming up.
It just feels like it'd be much more apt to trade back.
I agree. I have a hard time envisioning him giving up assets when he doesn't have that many assets.
And he wants more assets.
Correct. You probably have more assets than you did before you played Prize Picks because you had a good day.
I had a great NBA day. Now the draft. There's a little promo going. It's free to play. And here is my lineup for tonight. Ashton Genty, draft position 6.5. Oh, take less all day on that. Travis Hunter, I believe, is going 2. The more or less is at 2.5. So I feel great about that. And then here's the tricky one that I'm doing. Mel Kiper says update. Just the word update.
Now, update or upside?
Upside.
Upside is what I saw.
Thanks for correcting me.
I'm taking the less on update.
Upside, which of course is a big draft vernacular term. 3.5. Jesse, I went more on that because there's a lot of players that need a lot of upside. And the fun part is Prize Picks is free to play tonight on that. And it has over 10 million members. Billions of dollars in award and winnings and simple to play, more or less. You can play games. You can do the draft. You got it all with all the NHL, NBA. Don't miss out on your chance to cash in up to 2,000 times your cash on Prize Picks. Download the app. Use that code WI, and you get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, use code WI for the great state of Wisconsin, where the draft is being held tonight. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
More Wilde and Tausch live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply and 4/30/2025.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Did you miss Hunter Vaughn and the Dean Dennis Semrau this week? No fear, you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app. This week, they took a look at the top athletes from around the area. Plus, they were joined by the head track and field coach of Sun Prairie East, Doug Moan, as well as a future Badger and defending 400-meter champion, Nicole Repka of Verona. Again, you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network, and I've got a question for you. Is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with the leading manufacturers, including Pella, James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of 5-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for home improvement needs. Plus, consultations and estimates are always free, so there's no reason to wait. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com to schedule your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Ridgetop Exteriors is the place for you.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
The Houston Rockets bounce back from a Game 1 loss to tie the Golden State Warriors up at 1 game each. Now we head to San Francisco for Game 3. Coverage begins Saturday at 8 Eastern with tip-off at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
Jesse Nelson in the Hunter Cove. This is really nice. If I stand in just the right spot, I've got the heat blowing on me.
You look good, man.
We need one of these.
Need one of
Is
what?
it in this facility? This outdoor-indoor facility?
We have this up here throughout the season.
We do, but I don't think it
not
has
this
a,
one.
It's not quite like this.
Oh, why don't
This
you
is-
pony up and buy this one then?
Well, they're using this one.
You think I could get it on Facebook Marketplace like my hangers?
You never know. Trade. You could be in the mood to trade.
Well-
Trade some things.
Well, speaking of trades, what a setup by you.
I don't want Pickens under any circumstance. Don't want him.
So I don't understand, and again, I don't know how these stories proliferate.
Schultz, the Starbucks dude.
Schultzy, yeah. But I don't, I would love to know his sourcing.
Does he have to
on
drink at
this.
Starbucks? Does he have to get every coffee at Starbucks? And does he get free coffee?
I wonder if he's here, and I wonder if he's been to our Caribou that we have here in Green Bay.
Well, I'm just curious because obviously his dad owns all the Starbucks. Does he have to have Starbucks?
I don't know the franchising policy there, so I don't know. But
So, I would never, if somebody comes up and gives me a beer that's not a Coors Light, I am not
Right.
having it.
It's entrapment.
I would think he's not going to drink a coffee that ain't Starbucks. He's not going to fight other beat guys if it's not at Starbucks.
He's not going to
right?
fight him at a Quick Trip. I don't know. That's a good question.
But he is. You asked why. That's why it's going. He put a report out.
No, I'm saying, who gave him that? He didn't make that up.
I'm
right?
guessing Pickens wants out of Pittsburgh.
Correct. And the Packers component, for those that don't know what we're
Because the
talking about.
Packers are interested in Metcalf. The Packers are looking for a wideout. That's why.
I am skeptical of the fact that the Packers would want him. I understand he's fast. I understand that Christian Watson will not be available until November because I'm a doctor. So they do need someone there, and it's very possible that tonight your guy, Matthew Golden, Ohio State's Emeka Ibuka, and my guy, Teteroa McMillan, will be gone, and the Packers will not take a first-round wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to get Jack Besh in the second round, or who is the guy that Mel Kiper talked to us about from TCU. That doesn't mean they won't get a wide receiver during the course of the draft, but if they don't get a first-round guy who's going to be your number one because you've basically said, hey, we traded up to get this guy or we drafted him in the first round, that sends the message he's going to be your number one. If they don't do that, I assume folks are putting together the picture and saying, well, Pickens would make sense
reading the
for them.
breadcrumbs is what you're saying. Yeah, I understand all of that.
But I just don't think he makes sense for the Green Bay Packers.
And why?
Because it doesn't strike – if we hear Goody and we hear LaFleur talk about the chemistry of the locker room and standards over feelings and all the things, the love the game, all the other stuff.
The dude's a playmaker when he's out there.
He is. I think he comes with other baggage, though, right? There have been issues in Pittsburgh.
There's a couple of issues. Oh, God. A Viking skull?
No.
Well, get him out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. None of that skull. Get out of here.
We are welcoming all.
No,
no
skull.
teams.
No skull. No, we're not doing that.
Mark
I
Tauscher,
do love
Packers legend.
I do
saying
love
that.
the fact there's Vikings fans. I love it. It's great.
Clearly.
Jerseys all over the place. No, you got to have a little fun with the old Skolars. Where was I? Pickens.
Indeed.
And the issue is, there are things to be concerned about. He is a great talent. Has he put it together and been consistent? No. He's made plays, but has he done it consistently? You're going to give up draft capital and pay that man his money? He's going to want more than DK
right.
Metcalf.
It's the same scenario, basically.
And if I'm going to do that, now, if you're saying that's Justin Jefferson, you're saying that's Jamar Chase, you're saying it's T. Higgins, I'm on board with that, opening that up. I am not going to do that with somebody that the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking at saying, I'd rather trade him. Mm-hmm. That should be.
But you've always said that
City.
about free agency too.
No.
Why are you letting a guy? There's a reason why a team's letting a guy.
I didn't
out
say
of the
that about
building.
Xavier McKinney.
Unless it's Xavier McKinney, which is still unbelievable to explain.
So there are sometimes there's
Pickens is George Pickens is not Xavier McKinney. You can see why the Steelers would be willing to let him out of their building.
Yeah, and I don't want him. I don't want him here. I don't. You can all of the things you can say. We need a guy that he's got the skill set that you're looking for. Great. Don't want him. Don't want Tyreek Hill anywhere near here. Both guys don't have any interest. And would both guys help on Sundays? Yes. Mm-hmm. Not interested. Thank you. What's next?
And I don't think that's the kind of guy Matt LaFleur, despite his talent, wants either. I think Matt
if
LaFleur
they
likes
offer,
if
Miami says, you know what, man, we can't afford Tyreek Hill, give us a fifth. Are you doing it?
No.
How about a seventh?
He's still going to have to pay him. Doesn't matter.
He's already getting paid.
Well, he's going to want to be paid more. I don't want that. If I'm Goody, if I'm LaFleur, they feel good about what they have. They want to augment it, but not with that. I don't think either one of those guys make any sense.
I wonder if Goody looks at this. And Pickens, I don't think either scenario. I think Miami, with everything that, if you start looking around at Tyreek Hill, there's a lot of issues there.
There is.
I think Packer fans would be open to if you're given a fifth-round pick for Tyreek Hill, I think Packer fans would be very
wait, so
open.
you don't want Pickens, but you're
I don't. I don't want either. I'm saying Packer fans.
But you're a Packers fan.
But I view things differently, too. I don't have to fall lock stock with what Packer fans think. Jesse, do you think Packer fans would say, yes, Tyreek Hill, give me him for a fifth? Would they do it?
For a fifth, Packers fans would get excited for Tyreek Hill because it's somebody that people know and they
well,
get
then
excited about.
Then I would hope a Jason Wilde would write the full article on what you're getting. That's how I would hope.
I think I'm safe. I don't think I'll have to write here's what the Packers are getting after trading for Tyreek Hill. I don't believe that will occur.
I agree with you, but I think Miami wants to get rid of him.
Not for a fifth-round pick.
I think Miami wants to get rid of him.
One thing that you would have to do if you traded for any of these guys is pay them, and then they'd get those giant checks from Associated Bank. But the good news for Tyreek Hill or for George Pickens is that at least they would have great customer service from Associated Bank. They're the best in the business. They've got the awards to prove it.
Steve Largent jersey. Give me old Steve Largent back in the day.
I think this
That's
is going to be
old school.
I do think this is. Thanks for interrupting me. I do think this is going to be fun to see all the different team jerseys all in one place. Like, we're obviously here on game days, and we see lots of opposing jerseys, but we never see the full spectrum
What's the least
of all
seen
32
jersey?
jerseys.
I think Tennessee Titans might be the least.
No, they'll be here because they have
Jaguars?
number one. Remember that game we played when Tausch was on his road trip where he said we saw every state license plate except one? We should keep track and see how many
We've
don't
seen
see.
every North Division, a lot of Dolphins, because the Dolphins jersey's a good-looking jersey.
I think I saw an Eagles earlier, so
There's
that one's
Cardinals
good.
jerseys floating around.
I do think Steve Largent is in the lead for the best jersey
That's
I've
an
seen
awesome
so
jersey.
far this morning.
I think that even though Tennessee's got the first pick, Tennessee, until they don't have Cam Ward jerseys out there yet. I don't think you're going to see many Tennessee Titans jerseys.
I see a 47 Packers jersey coming towards
John
us.
Ryan. The old linebacker.
Oh, not the punter.
No.
Oh, John Ryan was the punter.
Jake Ryan.
Jake Ryan. Well,
Ryan.
some called him John. There's a lot of Johns that they call Jake.
Yeah?
Well, we call Associated Bank a great customer, a great partner, and if you're an Associated Bank customer, you know about their great customer service already. Plus, they're the official bank of the Packers. They've been with the Packers from the very beginning in 1919, and they've been with us from the very beginning of our show in 2016. Go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. Our friend Frank Caliendo scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
It all begins with round one tonight on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC. Presented by ZipRecruiter, GNC, and American Family Insurance.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at PizzaHut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Beauty Rest Black mattresses at Steinhoffels. The new Beauty Rest Black is only $42 per month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing, only at Steinhoffels. Wisconsin's Jack Nelson hoping to get his shot in the NFL. The tackle on his growth during his 4 seasons as a Badger.
I learned to be a leader. I learned to deal with the ups and downs. I knew that, I learned to deal that everything's not going to be perfect. You're going to have a bad play. I learned to play a bunch of different styles of football, a bunch of different techniques. I had 4 line coaches. And, now sitting here, I think I'm an experienced, tough, durable, and better player with my poise.
Catch Nelson's full interview on the latest episode of The Jump Around, streaming on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The keys of a new Audi are in reach at Audi of Madison. Save $3,000 on a new 2025 Audi Q5, A3 sedan, A5 Sportback, or A6 sedan. National Credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until April 30th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see the current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline at Rimrock Road.
If you're a motorist of the 4-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Why is everyone coming on their riding mowers and UTVs?
I figured all the neighbors could use a break from yard work, so I invited them for a
ride-on lawnmower movie?
Or, as I like to say, a movie.
We've got the value you need to do things your way, like a free $10 gift card for rewards members with an $80 estate fertilizer purchase, and Blaine's Golden Harvest Bird Food $12.99. Rewards members save an extra $1. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the San Francisco Giants.
Deep back at the track, gone! Christian Yelich, a grand slam!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound. On Wednesday, might get loud. On Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town.
Live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field. And joining us now, he was here.
Like right here?
Well, I don't know. Well, not in this little facility that we've got, but he was here at the build-up to the draft, and then I talked to him, and he said he wanted to come on the show, and then he left town. So I'm not sure how that worked, but we're happy to have him. He has been a good friend to our show, and I know he has a show of his own coming up in Appleton. It is Frank Caliendo on Wilde and Tausch. Frank, good morning. How are you, buddy?
What's up, guys? I did it perfectly. I avoided you
Smart.
In the physical presence and just made it so I would only call it. So, where are you guys today? You are where?
So we ESPN Wisconsin has a couple of houses that butt up against the parking lot of Lambeau. I think you've been here before, haven't you?
I've never been there, but I heard all about it when Craig, the big boss man, was putting that all together. I've heard phenomenal, incredible, phenomenal. Oh, Rugula, that's how great it is. You're going to break down a great place to go to the game and see the game. There's a tremendous situation that ESPN Wisconsin has set up. Craig Carmison, you can't beat him. You'd be hard-pressed to tell me otherwise.
So I'm glad that you've already segued into voices because I'm going to be honest with you. I got some complaints about your most recent appearance on the show. Not complaints. Not complaints about you.
Boy, way to warm up. Hey, thanks for joining us, Frank.
The best part is hold on, but the best part is that's not even no matter what comes next is not the worst thing that's probably been said to me. So go ahead.
So you've been a friend to us for a long time. I love it when you come on, but I am a process guy, and I am fascinated by how you put together different voices and add them to your repertoire. And the complaints I got were not about you. They were about me asking so many questions about your process as opposed to allowing you to actually do voices. So it wasn't a complaint about you at all. It was a complaint about me, which tends to be the case on our show.
Well, it's also, it can't be the same every time. So I do appreciate that you mix it up. So it leaves people wanting more because some people do like that stuff where they do really like to hear about the process. And some are like, I don't care. I'm never going to, work on it myself. So it means nothing to me. Just let's start the music. Yeah, and start going. So either way, it works. You guys have done a bunch for me all the time, so I just do whatever, wherever the it's flowing, I go with the flow, man.
Well, speaking of doing a bunch for you, you've got a show coming up. If people want to see you in person, there's a great opportunity. When, where, and how is that?
Appleton is probably the closest to where you guys are, unless you reach all the way out to Des Moines, Iowa. Which
We're huge in Des Moines.
The world is. Yeah, does you are? That's a joke, right or no? I can't.
We don't know either.
I can't even tell when. Yeah, I don't know when people. But Appleton, Milwaukee sold out already, which is Sunday. Appleton, 2 of the shows are sold out. It's the Appleton Skyline Comedy Club, which is one of the first clubs I ever worked at. when I first started out. So frankonstage.com will send you to their website. And like I said, there's one show Friday left and one show Saturday. The Saturday is almost completely sold out. So frankonstage.com brings you for this Friday and Saturday in Appleton at the Appleton Skyline Comedy Club. And Minneapolis would probably be the other one that's close, but that's sold out too. So Appleton's the only place around.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah. And that's sold out.
Yeah,
we got one in L.A. that's sold out, but not bad.
Yeah, if I were sold out in L.A., man, I'm not calling you. If I'm that big, I'm not calling anybody.
That's fair.
Let's be honest.
I get it.
Let's be serious.
So, Frank, if
let's talk some Gruden, man. I'm talking over you. Let's talk John Gruden, man. You guys want to unbox some boxes? You want to do some unboxing? I just got some free box cutters, man.
It's not about dreams. It's about nightmares. I saw the clips of him going to kind of fire up the Wisconsin Badgers, which I love. How could you, as John Gruden, fire up the crowd for tonight's draft if you're a Packer fan?
I tell you what, man, we're looking for something special. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you do not want to see some sort of you want to see a premier type of player. You want a wide receiver. You want somebody that Jordan Love is going to be able to unleash the cannon on. You want somebody that's going to cut across the field, go down deep. You want a special player. But you're probably going to get somebody for defense.
Was there a point when both Mel Kiper and John Gruden were on the
dais
draft
together?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Caliendo even did a draft special. Talking to himself and John Gruden and Mel Kiper Jr. talking about a tremendous situation. It's like doing a puppet show, but there aren't any puppets. What do you think, John? I tell you what, man, I want to unbox you, Mel Kiper. I'd love to unbox that hair of yours. That's a tremendous look. It's not as much hair as it used to be, but, it's getting more of that Eddie Munster look for the older people, kind of a Count Chocula type of situation. But, that's just what it's just the aging process. Get there, done that, been there, done that. You'd be hard-pressed to tell me otherwise.
Hey,
they were on for a while together.
Yeah, they did. That was good. Charles, did you see – what did you think when Shaq pooped his pants the other night?
Shaq's got to get to the bathroom quicker. That's the problem with this knucklehead. It's going to be – you talk about getting – that's – Shaq used to flush. That's a new kind of flush for Shaq. Come on, man. Come on. What is this all about? Get to the potty. Shaq I got to take a Shaq. That's what I had to do. I had to take a Shaq.
So Jesse retired his Jay Gruden, which you were so nice to critique few visits previous. He retired it because of, obviously, John Gruden kind of exiting the public square for a while. Have you reintegrated him into your shows because now he's kind of resurfaced, or did you keep him in the mix the whole time?
I took it out because people just asked me to do terrible things, so I just wasn't doing it for a while. So I took it out, and I know John really well. So I took it out. I didn't take it out completely. I just kind of did little snippets real quick, and now it's full force. He is everywhere. Every single thing he does. Hey, can we get some content out of me changing my shoes? Kind of a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood type of deal. How about me taking a golf club? That's about 5 videos, isn't it, man? We could do that. We could get a sponsor. We're going to get like 7 sponsors. He's the only guy who's wearing a T-shirt for a different thing. He's got a brand deal for T-shirts while he's like golfing with somebody else's golf club. It's unbelievable how well he's done this. And he had texted me a while back. He goes, I'm new to this social media thing. I'm like, I think he'll get the hang of it. Not only did he get the hang of it, he's creating his own, he's got not only his own brand, he's the brand of everybody else's brand. I mean, you just wait for, you guys tried this Blue Chew and you tried that, man? I'll tell you what, things are getting, I'm feeling nicey. I'm feeling nicey.
Careful. I think you were going to go in a different direction. I think it was smart to veer back.
my God.
No, 100% of the time going nicey, man.
I tell you what, man, I'm happy to see you.
Frank, is there
pretty-
somebody that is not?
Hold on a second. Is
All
that
right,
a
Johnny.
shotgun in your pocket?
Okay.
Is that a shotgun in your pocket, or are you going under center, man?
I don't know. You'll have to read the option. All right. So, is there somebody that is not quite on the national scale that you've done that you want to kind of bring out? Is there, or is it it has to be a name guy? Or you like your buddies? Do you have where you can impersonate your buddies, and that's a big thing?
Yeah, you can make them a character. So if you have somebody, you can set them up. The difference between an impression and a character is people just know who the impression is. There's not as much of a setup. So if you have an impression of a friend that has a really great point of view that you can do funny stuff with, you just set up the situations of your friend, because most people have a friend that they can relate to that type of situation or somebody similar. So it's all about setting it up more. And that's even what I do with some impressions I do now, is try to set them up more, because not everybody is watching the same stuff. You know, talking sports, there's a lot more of crossover appeal to, from different brands of sports channels or whatever networks. People seem to know all the different insiders and that type of deal, but it wouldn't be the same as watching the Bravo audience, what they're watching, or what somebody who watches just general network television, CBS or ABC or something like that. So the setups become more important to create who the character is, and it's not about just doing lines from movies, which is what the old school vaudevillian way of doing an impression is. This is more finding a take with the person and acting out the situation based on who that person is. And if you set it up more, people who don't even know who that character is will laugh because or have a better chance to laugh because it's been set up properly.
Talking with our friend Frank Caliendo on Wilde and Tausch as we get ready for the first day of the NFL draft here in Green Bay. All right, Frank, I know you got a lot on your plate. Two things before we let you go. One, of all the things that you've done that I've loved, and we've obviously known each other a long time, we talked about Gruden earlier, the hard knocks of you coming in and doing Gruden while he's coaching the Raiders is still one of my all-time favorites, and he leans into it. You guys being friends, I'm curious, are there others that really embraced you doing them to that degree? And then at the other end of the spectrum, who are the ones, if there are any, who were like, no, this isn't funny, I don't like you doing me?
Well, Mel loves it. Mel Kiper, totally. Anytime I would do it, he would call me after. Tremendous job. Really love what you do. Can you do Todd McShay? Can you do Todd? Like, he's too normal. What are you saying, Frank? You said I'm not normal? Yeah. What do you mean I'm not? Hold on, I got to take a slice of pumpkin pie and get out of my dungeon for a second. So he loved it. Berman was kind of like, I'm not sure if there's anything to do with me. And like, you don't want to tell him, but every single person at ESPN has a Chris Berman impression. I was just the one allowed to get away with it. Jim Rome never liked me, did not like me, not one bit, not even a tiny bit. Jaws Jaworski, I watched 192 hours of videotape. That's what I truly believe. Jaws loved it, would invite me out to functions that he would have because he owns half of Philadelphia. Trying to think of some of the other people in sports. Madden really didn't like me at all. I think he eventually kind of liked me a little bit at the end because when I finally met him. Terry and the guys all liked it. Barkley loves it. Trying to think some of the other people.
In politics, do those go over well or poorly?
I've only done Trump. I did Trump with Trump like 15 years ago at Trump Tower. He got it and loved it. And the joke was, I've decided to run for president. Now I've decided to not run for president. I've decided to not run for president. Now I've decided to not run for president. And then he's like, are you running for president? I'm like, I don't know. So he got it. He had fun with it. At the time, I don't know if he would now, but so you never know. I mean, another guy really likes Stephen A. Smith, and it was funny because I saw him at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and at that same Super Bowl, when he was walking by, somebody asked him who his favorite Stephen A. Smith impression was, He said who is the best, and he said me. Even though Jamie Foxx and with Jay Farrow have incredible, probably better than me. Farrow is probably better, but it was funny because he just seen me, so he said me. So it's really funny that was going like mini viral of him saying that my impression was great. And of course, I latched onto it and didn't tell anybody he'd just seen me until now. So.
All right, last thing before we let you go and we promote one more of your very rarely not fully sold out shows that you've got on the schedule. One of the things I've seen you do so much in recent months is, and I know you've done it before that, but I think you're putting out even more social media content, is when you are going in rapid succession from one voice to another, and like 10 or 12 voices in a 2-minute clip. Is that something that is a new development, and that just strikes me as incredibly hard? Is it much easier because you're good at what you do, or is that one of the harder things to try and make really good?
It's something I put out on social media in the last few years, but it's something I did as a kid, even before I completely did impressions. I would do some impressions, reading a book, and have people call out names. And I don't know if I have them anymore, but it would be stuff I did like high school or probably high school time. And it was on VHS tape. So it was that old that it was VHS. So one time I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing that I used to do. And I would have them do it with me every once in a while on talk shows or something, like Leno or something like that. We just call out the voice and then go to it. Because it's more amazing when somebody yells it out if they yell Gruden. I'll tell you what, man, Kuiper, talk about tremendous situation. John Madden, you just go from that voice. Jeff Goldblum, who's saying my own name. How about that? To Robert Downey Jr., to I don't even know who else I do anymore. Adam Schefter, to Jake Laser, I don't even know. So
you're coming to gambit.
Yeah.
All right, well, as Frank Caliendo, tell us one more time, if you're up here in the Green Bay, Fox Cities area, and you want to see you this weekend, where am I going to get my tickets?
Templeton Skyline Comedy Club. FrankOnStage.com brings you there. It's there's a show left. There's tickets left on Friday and Saturday. Of the 4 shows, 2 of them are sold out already. So FrankOnStage.com, which is easier to spell than FrankCaliendo.com, although Caliendo is the letter C, the word alien, and the word do. So at Frank C. Alien Do or FrankOnStage.com. Appleton, Wisconsin. This Friday and Saturday, I'll tell you what, when I was in Italy with Frank, we had on the table spaghetti 2, bruschetta. I almost forgot how to say bruschetta, man. Bruschetta.
Frank, we love you, buddy. Thanks for making time for us.
Thanks, guys. Have fun out there.
God, he is one of one. It is always fun when we get to spend time with him. Tausch, he didn't do Tausch telling us about Coors Light. Jesse's the only one that does that imitation.
Mark Tauscher here.
Which do you feel like that's close?
I don't care. Coors Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp. It is only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I don't think it's bad.
A Golden,
I'm not
a Colorado.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think Jesse obviously has heard it enough and he's mimicked it. I don't have a problem with it, Jesse. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's terrible.
But you don't care. Which was also what you said. We care about the 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. It will begin in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. At long last, it's finally here. It is draft day in Green Bay, and there's no better place to get your draft coverage fix than right here on ESPN Wisconsin. We'll be live and local from 9 to 2 for the next 3 hours, and then from 6 through the end of round 1 from Titletown, and you won't want to miss a moment. Now, there are, in fact, other sports going on, including baseball. Last night, the Crew fell to the Giants 4-2. Milwaukee looks to split the 4-game set with San Fran this afternoon. Tobias Myers will be making his season debut. His first pitch is scheduled for 2:45, with pregame coverage beginning at 2:15. Finally, in basketball, about an hour ago, Shams Charania reports that the Bucks and general manager John Horst have agreed to a multi-year extension. Wilde and Tausch live from the Tundra Trio continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The NFL selects Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The NFL draft gets underway in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm certainly excited.
Right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The week of the draft.
I just hope it doesn't make us look bad. That's all.
We need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency.
Next thing you know, you have another guy that you feel awesome about.
The Packers are one of the toughest teams to nail down in the first round.
The depth of this class outshines the star power of this class.
Michael Williams.
Should immediately and slung down by Michael Williams.
Maxwell Hairston, the corner from Kentucky.
Throws down the middle of the field. Maxwell Hairston, big-time pick.
There were plenty of spots you could put Shamar Stewart if teams want to roll the dice on talent.
Down he goes. Shamar Stewart on the sack.
In terms of Emeka Ibuka, a professional receiver.
Caught in stride, Ibuka touchdown.
And we'll look at the focus and concentration.
Wow. I am a huge Hunter Wohler fan. Any safety who hits like that, I'm going to be a fan of you.
Dropped. And guess who made the lick is Hunter Wohler.
So, Green Bay, you're on the clock.
Welcome to my house.
I just don't know exactly what they feel like they need the most right now.
If they're not better this year, there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
I think they're one marquee player away.
With the 23rd pick.
They've needed receivers in the first round and not
This has to be the most important draft of Brian Gutekunst's tenure.
Yeah, I think it's time that we start competing for championships.
The Green Bay Packers select.
Welcome to my house.
It's my house.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch on draft day 2025. Starting to see more and more fans walking down this alleyway between the Tundra Trio and Lambeau Field. We were talking about us being sensitive earlier as Wisconsinites. Big Cat, Josh DiMaggio sent me this tweet from Kyle Long. Did you ever play against Kyle Long, or did you guys not cross over?
He's an O-line.
No, I understand, but were you at the... Do you?
Did you ever play against Jay Cutler?
Yeah. Well, his brother is a DN.
I understand, but
I know you don't cover a lot of teams outside of the Packers. I think Kyle Long is a lot younger than him.
Okay, so what about his older brother? You did block or didn't block or?
Oh wait.
You ever play against
Jason?
You ever play against Barry Sanders?
What year did he retire?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
It was close. I think he retired right when I got in. So no.
Couldn't have both of you in the league at the same time.
Of course not. He was a running back.
There's a lot of talent there. So yeah.
Anyway, Kyle Long, who you may or may not have played against, but definitely did not block.
Howie Long.
Now we're gonna have to do that every time someone comes
Long.
on.
A lot of longs.
Yeah.
Having the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin is one of the coolest things I've seen from the NFL in a long time.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
The future of the NFL being selected to their teams, contrasting with the rich history in Green Bay, is awesome.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
I just
All
want to
right.
thank Kyle for not being Cam Ward, who we're not offended by. We don't care what he thinks, but we brought it up on the show.
You think there's going to be more Cam Wards or Kyle Longs when this thing's all said and done
Well,
this weekend?
is it public or private? I mean, if it's privately being said, it's going to be more Cam Wards.
I feel like if you came here for the draft and you're surprised that there's not the nightlife, and that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have the awareness to know what this is going to be, right? Like, and I'm not – look, the draftees are one thing. There's, 17 players that have been invited. I did think it was interesting that for this draft, as opposed to a lot of other drafts, there were a lot of other players – they had second-day people at previous drafts, so they would have those guys who would be available to the media and be on camera and whatever else. They didn't really do that with this year's draft, so I wondered if that was part of it. But if you're coming here as a fan, I can't imagine you're not coming here for anything other than this is one of the, like Chris Canty was saying earlier in the show, like Canton, Ohio, this is one of the definitive all-football meccas when it comes to the NFL.
No doubt. And I guess the question, should we care? Because we do. We do care. We care about the narrative and the perception. So it's easy to say, well, don't care, and, oh, it doesn't matter, get out of here. I do. I'm sick of it. I know I'm sick of it. And that doesn't mean I'm right, but it is a narrative that I think gets old. And I think for a lot of us where there is I want you to have a good time. I'm just going to be secure. I love the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. And if you don't love it, I don't care.
But this is the kind of stuff that, and again,
but I do care.
You hear it. We have the clip in Jesse's montage when Rob Domofsky says, I don't want us to look bad. Because he's proud of his town.
Yeah.
Right? I'm proud of my town. And I don't love it when people badmouth it. I just think that as I watch these fans walk down the way, and look, by the time we do some other stuff later this afternoon, I feel fairly confident in predicting that it'll be a lot more people making their way down this alleyway. But I would certainly hope they knew what they were getting into when they decided to come here for the draft. Again, it does feel like it's been a long time coming, and we still have another 7 hours and 45 minutes before the actual draft begins. We talked about your draft day experience. From the perspective of just wanting to get this going, you know how I feel. I don't like the draft industrial complex. I don't like, hey, check out my 13th mock draft of all 7 rounds. What I do like is draft day when the picks are made and we are introduced to these new Packers players like you were in 2000 and like last year. Like, I look at that as the best part of this. I can't wait to find out who they're going to pick tonight. I can't wait to find out who they're going to pick with their 2 7th-round picks that they've got on the board. So those are the things that I'm looking for.
You're a storyteller, and that's the beauty of the draft and why it has become the behemoth it is, because you're selling hope to teams. The Tennessee Titans are a moribund franchise, and they're selling themselves. They're getting hope in the form of a quarterback that they think can move the needle and get them back to relevancy. That's the beauty of it. Every player's got a story to tell, and you hope that it's a story that lasts a long time in whatever cities that they're being picked in tonight.
I wonder what it is like in other places, though, where your teams don't have success. And this is like a huge day.
It's a bigger night
like
for those teams.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like they chose Cleveland for draft day because Cleveland had not and has not won consistently in a very long time. Yep. So I wonder, what are those franchises that this is? Like for Jacksonville, I'm guessing Jacksonville Jaguars fans look forward to the draft every year because that's when most of the good things, at least for their feelings about their team, happen. And it's another example of how Packers fans, what was that you said about me with the garbage being picked up earlier this week, champagne problems?
You said
Packers fans, quibbling over whether who they pick at 23 because they're always picking in the 20s and sometimes in the 30s. Those are the problems you want to have. And for Goody's track record, we do have to factor in, not you because you're supportive of him regardless, but we do have to factor in it's a heck of a lot harder to pick a really good player when you're picking at 23 than it is when you're picking at 5.
Sure, I mean, maybe from an impact standpoint, but plenty of teams have done it, and that is the lifeblood of how this organization operates. So, yeah, it's tough. Hey, tough luck, man. It's your job to find good football players to continue to bring in. And at 23, there is an abundance of good football players. You just got to make the right pick.
It's Goody's job to bring in great football players. It's your job to choose the winner of our Kohler Services contest. Are you a judge, jury, and bathroom shower executioner?
I'm not sure how that all works, but I do know this. If you have a ugly shower in the state of Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. You heard me right. One lucky fan will receive a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win that new Lugstone shower.
Draft day in Green Bay. Wilde and Tausch rolls on from the Tundra Trio. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a 3, and he splashes it through from the left wing.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks find themselves in an 0-2 hole following a 123-115 loss to the Indiana Pacers in Game 2 of their best-of-7 series. Milwaukee mounted a 13-0 fourth-quarter rally to cut a 15-point deficit to 2, but couldn't get a stop down the stretch, according to head coach Doc Rivers.
When we got to get a stop, we did not get a stop. And to me, over anything else, we got to be able to get a stop on a call. We not only didn't get a stop, we gave up a 3. And those are the plays to me that are really breaking us.
Damian Lillard returned to the lineup for the first time since March 18th, scored 14 points, but only 3 of those came after halftime while shooting 4 of 13 from the field. The series now shifts back to the Brew City for a must-win Game 3 Friday night.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
The keys of a new Audi are in reach at Audi of Madison. Save $3,000 on a new 2025 Audi Q5, A3 sedan, A5 Sportback, or A6 sedan. National Credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until April 30th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see the current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline at Rimrock Road.
Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
With head coach Matt LaFleur's first season in the books, Green Bay's championship window was wide open. However, on draft night 2020, they found themselves in a situation similar to 2005 and decided to go bold.
With the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
Just like Rodgers after Brett Favre, Love would take over as the starting quarterback in his 4th NFL season, earning himself a huge deal as the face of the franchise following a breakout playoff performance.
Love zips it in there. It's caught for the touchdown, Romeo Doubs. And And the route is on in Dallas. Wow.
This Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Continuing from the Tundra Trio, more and more fans working their way up and down the corridor between us and Lambeau Field. I'm going to be honest, I thought we were going to see a lot more jerseys from other teams still early.
A lot of green and gold here.
But lots of Packers.
A lot of Vikings
locals.
I'm seeing too.
Yeah, a lot
short
of
drive from
Skullhorns
Minneapolis.
and things of that nature.
Not a lot of Bears jerseys yet.
Yeah, a lot of Caleb Williams. I've seen 5 or 6 Caleb Williams jerseys. Titans jersey coming, which I thought we would not see.
Who is it?
Number 31. I don't know who that is, but number 31 for the Titans.
Don't know who that is.
Do you know who it is?
If only we had a producer to check that kind of information for us.
Well,
you know what I'm most excited?
Tausch had me Googling the most fun names
So we've done this
draft.
the last 2 drafts where he has these names that we want to become Packers strictly off of name.
Like Jake Butt.
Cheeseman, Bierman. I don't know the other names that ring a bell, but and I said something to Jesse, and it looked like I was crazy when I said that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean it's crazy?
Oh, that's a Tennessee Titans Cortland Finnegan
We've
jersey.
done this year in and year out.
Thanks for looking that up, Jesse.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Fun name, Cortland Finnegan.
So you're looking for names that would be like Wisconsin connected, like Cheeseman. So Jake Butt is a funny name.
That's a funny name.
And he does the Big Ten Network with...
Saw him at a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
The Buttster.
Is that what you called him? Was he in the restroom with Todd Blackledge?
Are we in a position here? Your guy Brugler put his final mock out. He's got Will Johnson, corner from Michigan.
Going to the Packers?
Yes. Which I know.
Will Johnson lasting that long, I thought he would have had.
Hey, it's your
gone.
guy. Okay,
He is my guy. Yeah, I love Dave. He does a
and
great
a lot
job.
of names that I've been seeing corner-wise is Hairston from Kentucky. He's got a picture here I see.
I believe
hanging
that was
out with the
our
Cobb,
guy Mel Kuypers.
with the Cobb father. So I think tonight if we come out of here with someone that fans believe can be a starting corner or starting wideout, everybody's going to be excited. That is where
I agree.
That's where Packer fans are. Anyone other than that, I think you're going to have angst. Oh, lineman. Oh, even if it's a D lineman that maybe some people had mocked as second or third or second round pick, which we've seen in the past.
Oh, that goes over well. Yeah.
That will get frowned upon. But I just think we're all, and this is just something I think from the past, we're always, well, can we please get a first-round pick at wideout? And I don't fully understand that narrative of why we're so gung-ho for that because of the success that we've seen in second and third-round picks. But it's
just because it's never happened for a lot of
been a
people in
while.
their time following this team.
And I think we are hoping that there is that Justin Jefferson. It's not the Jalen Reagor. I think that's the risk you take when you do that. And when you feel like you have the guy at quarterback, you feel like you don't need to have the Justin Jefferson. You feel like you can get by with a Jordy Nelson and a Randall Cobb and a Devontae Adams, who maybe it's a chicken and egg deal, but there's no doubt that their development was sped up because they had great quarterback play too.
So do you believe that the Packers have that guy that's good enough that they don't have to hit on a Justin Jefferson level wide receiver in that chicken and the egg equation?
They do not have a Justin Jefferson on the roster right now.
Right, and they don't have that guy as a quarterback who doesn't need a Justin Jefferson type guy either.
Well, it comes back to what the approach is going to be, and it's Matt LaFleur's job to utilize the talent that he has and emphasize that. And right now it is a wide receiver tight end operation that this offense is going to be the focal point of. And that can change. It won't change before August, September, because it doesn't matter if they got Randy Moss in here. It will take some time to find out that they have Randy Moss here. So I hope that this is the direction that we see, is going with that wideout that they think can be that guy, because I think that is the best opportunity to grow quickly and get this offense to take it to that next level. And if that happens, I think all of us as Packer fans are going to be excited.
Tony Gonzalez, Atlanta Falcons
No,
jersey.
you're dropping the ball here. A Grady Jackson nose tackle jersey from my era.
Where?
Right there. Old 7'5", Grady Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Ravens and Patriots walking by right now. Check them off the list. Mark Andrews jersey. That's nice.
I saw a Tiki Barber jersey.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our eye out for that as we roll on here and get ready for tonight's first round. Also, always keep an eye out for what the best deals are during Steinhafel sales. And right now, it's the best time to get your Beauty Rest Black mattress at Steinhafel's. Beauty Rest Black mattresses use sleep climate technology that transfers heat away from the body and triple-stranded pocketed coil technology to give you the most advanced support system in a mattress. Right now, the new Beauty Rest Black is only $42 per month when you use Steinhafel's 60-month financing. Plus, you'll get up to $300 in Steinhafel's cash. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. I noticed while we were doing this program that our friends Carmen and Yurko are doing their show on ESPN Chicago, and Yurko has had a cigar going for most of the show.
Is that right?
Have you considered that at all?
I haven't.
Would you?
If you do it, I'll do it.
Okay, I don't know.
Why?
I've never smoked a cigar. I've never really smoked anything.
I don't buy that for a minute.
Really?
No.
Really? Knowing me like you do, you really don't
You
believe
with
that?
the hoop earring, I got a hunch you probably hit somebody you-know-what back in the day.
No, never. Not once.
Really?
Bad judgment on the earring it was not influenced by anything you would smoke or drink.
I don't know if I buy. I mean, you maybe didn't inhale, but I would think that maybe
those on YouTube are looking live at the Jason Wilde that Tausch is referring to.
Oh, that's nice of you to share that. I didn't know you had that in your
disclosure.
Weed is tight. I don't see any screen. Yeah, no, I love smoking a good cigar every once in a while. That'd be great.
Okay. Well, we'll see if Yurko's got an extra one for you for the last 29 minutes of the program. We'll roll on live from the Tundra Trio as we get ready for the first round of the NFL Draft tonight, live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Well, the draft in Green Bay and the start of the basketball playoffs means we're that much closer to the start of summer. And as the weather gets nicer and the days get longer, that means more sunlight and more reasons to make the energy switch to Everlight Solar. Wouldn't you love to have a way to save money and save the planet? Well, good news. There is a way, and it's by making the switch to solar. Our family is one of the many who have made the switch over the last several years, and when we were ready to make the switch, we met with the Everlight Solar team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the San Francisco Giants.
Deep back at the track, gone! Christian Yelich, a grand slam!
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
A Bland's Farm and Fleet original story.
Why is everyone coming on their riding mowers and UTVs?
I figured all the neighbors could use a break from yard work, so I invited them for
a ride-on lawnmower movie?
Or, as I like to say, a movie.
We've got the value you need to do things your way, like a free Wild Bite fishing kit when you spend $50 on fishing gear. Save $30 on all Curt towing hitches, and all Blazer trailer lighting is 25% off. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft, right, Wilde? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in 4/30/2025.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
With the next pick in the big draft, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Dane County selects you. As we count down to the draft in Green Bay, Big Brothers and Big Sisters is also counting on you to help meet the growing demand of mentorship in our community. Become a role model, a motivator, a supporter, a positive influence. Empower the young people in our community to create a brighter future for all. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Dane County presents the Big Draft in partnership with the NFL Inspire Change. Learn how to get involved at bbbsmadison.org.
The Houston Rockets bounce back from a Game 1 loss to tie the Golden State Warriors up at 1 game each. Now we head to San Francisco for Game 3. Coverage begins Saturday at 8 Eastern with tip-off at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
Live from the Tundra Trio. So we have this lovely facility. It's got a heater
for the next 30 minutes.
And then someone who shall remain nameless, but they're big fans of the former president, Gerald Ford.
They fixed the video stream earlier today. We were very thankful for what they did.
Knocked over Tausch's coffee.
The last of the Karuba.
And then had the audacity to blame Tausch for not having a cover on his coffee. As if, by the way, having a cover on your coffee would have prevented it would have just slowed the trickling of the coffee getting all over the place. ESPN National Radio allows us to use their facility. Yep. It's amazing. By the way,
Not
tomorrow,
anymore.
and tomorrow with the weather changing, Evan and Canty and Michelle are going to be in here doing the show. And so he basically, again, I'm not going to say who it is, but his name rhymes with Hunter, spills Tausch's coffee, but then blames Tausch. Who wasn't? He was shaking hands with fans.
He was getting a cigar from your
Hey, Howie Long jersey. You play against him? You ever cover Howie Long?
I never covered him, nor did I block him.
Yeah, I ain't going to lie to you. I don't know what the heck. I've been sitting up here. I got here, did the Unsportsmanlike show. Been up here. I have not even really meandered much. Going to go to the bathroom, go say hello to some fans outside of the Tundra Trio. I come up here and I see these idiots scrambling with napkins everywhere, wiping. I'm like, what the heck happened? And Hunter has, as you said, the audacity to say, who doesn't put a cover on their coffee? It's been here for 3 hours. And there have been people, Canty running through here, Evan, people running up here. There's been people from the Unsportsmanlike crew getting their set ready for tomorrow. Everybody. And somehow Hunter comes to me and blames me for having the exact, and you have a cup of whatever that is.
Bubbler.
So now everything needs to be covered is the new thing. Hunter, if I ever see you doing anything that ain't covered, it's unbelievable.
Tensions are high on draft day. Yeah. Tensions are high. Baker Mayfield creamsicle jersey.
Tensions are high. Jason is not. That's what I learned today.
That's the theme of the
That's what I just learned.
Our final moments before the Packers make their pick on our show, and what did we learn?
I see a Carolina Panthers jersey.
I was wondering.
Steelers, Pella.
Yeah. I thought Panthers would be one of the ones we did not see here.
Dwayne Bowe jersey?
All right. I see a Reggie Bush Saints jersey. That's a good one.
Yeah.
No,
it's a Saints jersey. That's good. Yeah, there's a lot of teams up there.
Well, I'm just trying to check off boxes. Here comes a 23 Bears jersey, so that would be Devin Hester.
That was Chiefs and Ravens and a Michael Vick jersey from the Falcons.
Wow.
Interesting.
That was a Deontay Foreman Carolina Panthers jersey, number 33.
Indeed.
Well, this is one of the things that I have been looking forward to, and it's great that we're seeing more and more and more fans coming through because obviously we've been over here a couple of days this week already, and it's just been people putting the finishing touches on the draft. Lots of construction folks, lots of NFL personnel getting everything ready. Obviously the great ESPN crew that will have no interest in inviting us back to our own facility after our coffee incident. All right, we've got a few more minutes left.
I'm getting blamed for Hunter spilling the coffee and blaming Tausch now in the YouTube comments because he was under my producer tutelage.
Well,
how is that a thing?
Well, I think maybe it's more the pass the buck mentality that you have proliferated among the people you've trained. By the way, this is one of the look. It's been great energy, great to see a bunch of teammates that I don't normally get to see because I'm the one-man Green Bay outpost of ESPN Wisconsin. Things have settled down a little bit in terms of all the hive of activity going on in front of the show, but I feel disconnected by not being in the basement and being able to monitor the YouTube comments and the social media. What have the YouTube dwellers, as you so affectionately call them, thought of the show, and have there been any carbless talking text line messages that we've missed out on?
We've had a few people chime in with what they want the Packers to do with their pick tonight, but for the most part, it's been a lot of complaints at first about some audio things we were working through at the very start.
Joe
of the show.
Jacoby, Washington Redskins.
That's an old schooler. I like that.
Who's the Bengals and Browns are walking through here right now? I can't see the names on them.
We got a Colt running through.
Trevor Lawrence, our first Jaguars jersey.
Jags are off the board, so we've gotten just about everybody now. Seahawks haven't seen yet.
No, we saw Steve Largent.
Oh, Largent was a Seahawk, yeah. 49ers?
and a Jair Alexander 23 Packers jersey, which will be a collector's item at some point this offseason. All right, what do we got on the Carbless Talking text line and the YouTube comments other than unhappiness with you, which is a standard operating procedure down there?
A lot of people are asking about the fans, like the fact that the draft is in Green Bay. This is from Chauncey in Oshkosh. Does the fact that the draft is in Green Bay in front of hometown fans affect whether or not Goody makes a pick in the first round or what that pick is?
No.
No, and I know that Mark Murphy Tausch was doing his routine during the tailgate tour, that they're going to boo us if we trade out. But as you said from the very beginning, like this was like a month and a half ago we were having this conversation, Goody is Goody. And he is not the type of person that would allow the draft being in Green Bay to influence what he thinks are smart football decisions. And in fairness to Mark Murphy, who I have not always seen eye to eye with, Mark Murphy would never say, well, we got to make our first-round pick because we're here at Green Bay.
No, but
he would never do that.
No, but he could want that. And I think
I'm sure he wants it.
Obviously, this is a big deal, hosting the draft, and it would be, I think, fun for fans to have that excitement of whomever this player is going to be end up getting picked. But Mark is more interested in having a good football team and winning, and that's where his focus is going to be, and that's where it should be. And so I think all of that narrative has been shut down, and now I think we're just getting to the point. You're seeing more and more people kind of trickling in. It's getting to the point where, all right, we have talked and analyzed and had every draft person have a discussion, Maddie, but everybody's given their opinion. Everybody's done their work. And even you've seen, I sent over some audio to Jesse. He decided not to play it today, of Goody and of Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, I think, having a discussion about that draft of 2020, bringing Jordan Love in, was fascinating. That's where you're at now. These coaches and GMs, they're even like, all right, man, I just got to get
Let's talk about something else.
I'm going to go over to go do Rich Eisen's show and Dan Patrick. I just am done. I'm going to get out of here because I heard Goody say this. It's where I think a lot of times you can outthink yourself. Get away from it. You have your board set. You've put in all the work, and it's like it's like game day. You're not going to sit there and go sprint 40 miles before a game. You're going to go about your business. You're going to mentally stay where you're at, and then you're going to go, and now it's game time. And that's, I think, what we're all – I know I'm waiting for it, and I think that's where everybody's at.
Yeah, that was a great line from Goody that he basically said we joke about it among the scouts. We should take these next 5 days off. He said this on Monday.
Yeah.
Because this is where you start tinkering and you end up making mistakes because of going too far with your analysis.
Well, and it's also how much are you going to believe in the whole scene of misinformation.
Sure.
So I think there's some merit to it, but it's just like coaches and why they grind over film. You want to make sure you have every base covered so that you can make the best informed decision. The last thing you want to do is feel like you weren't informed and updated on every last little bit of information, and especially in this area when you're trying to figure out if you want to end up trading down and getting more picks, what that board might look like, and any information that you can get. And it is funny, you've heard the stories after the draft, whether it's Jimmy Haslam talking to a homeless guy on the street and telling him to draft Johnny Manziel. I'd rather have you sitting up in your office studying film than doing that.
There's another comment here from Michael in the YouTube comments. Goody never takes the mock draft guys, and that is kind of true, at least from my experience as a fan consuming this. Cooper DeJean was there last year. Didn't take him. There have been receivers who have been there. Doesn't take him. It's always Jordan Morgan or somebody we've never heard of.
Who was the mock guy last year?
It was Cooper
DeJean.
In some, but there is, I think you can kind of look at what position and try to pin it down. And I do think the more you're watching and seeing, it's going to be a wide – if they stay at 23, it's going to be a wide order corner.
So I was talking to Rob Domofsky last night, and he calls a lot of scouts because he is very motivated because, they put him on TV for that mock draft.
Yep.
And he really wants to get it right.
Okay.
And so he took Shamar Stewart on their mock draft. And then when we did our little thing on WBAY in Green Bay, he took Michael Williams, the Georgia.
You can't take two different guys.
In fairness to him.
He's mock draft.
That's how
it works. It's like if I'm predicting a game and I do it on KBN and I do it here, you can't have 5 different picks.
So in fairness to Rob, the ESPN one is predicated on who's available from the other 22 beat writers who picked before him.
Sounds like he's hedging and wanting to be right on something.
Very hedging.
He'll be puffing his chest when it is one of those 5 guys.
I hope he gets it right so he can feel good about that. Now, what I was going to bring up is in talking with him based on his conversations around other scouts, this is as unpredictable as he can remember from those conversations because there's a bunch of guys that you're sitting, well, he won't be there. Well, he won't be there. And then you talk to another scout who thinks those guys will all be there. So, for instance, the wide receiver one. None of us really know. But I think there's a lot of folks that think all 3 of the guys that came here to visit your guy Golden, Emeka Ibuka, and Tetaroa McMillan will all be gone before 23. But there's others that believe that, McMillan and the questions about how much he likes watching film and wherever that stuff has come from, maybe that does cause a little bit of a slide. Whatever the case may be, it's just all guesswork for everybody right now, including Goody. They do their mock drafts themselves, trying to, based on the intel that they have, okay, here's what this team's need is. I think that, they're going to do this. But he'll tell you a lot of times theirs is wrong too. And they're the guys that work in the league.
You never know. Again, I think from the Packers standpoint, you want to see Jackson Dart go to the Saints at 9. You'd like to see Shedeur Sanders go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to see quarterbacks come off the board. This is one of those years, and why there's so much unpredictability is because you don't know where those guys are going to go. You know who's going 1. You don't know the rest of it, and the more QBs that come off the board, the better opportunity the Packers are going to have to get one of their preferred guys at 23.
Well, we will see how it all unfolds as we get ready for tonight. Again, the draft process begins at 7 p.m. with that first pick, Cam Ward, who is now the unofficial member of the Green Bay City of Green Bay Chamber of Commerce. You're not bothered by it, I know, but
no, I am bothered.
But
I don't
want
want
to be
by it.
How quick you think he's flying out of here tonight?
I would assume
he might be on the plane now. He might Brett Favre it, and that's the old Friday night exhibition game with a little rainstorm. Hey, where's Favre? Oh, he's over Tennessee already. Well, it's the third quarter.
Well, I think we can safely say that Cam Ward's not listening to our show today, but it's not his state, his teams, his ESPN. It's your state, your team, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app available in the Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your team, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
But not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The chance to live out a dream. Wisconsin's Jack Nelson hoping to get his shot in the NFL. The tackle on his growth during his 4 seasons as a Badger.
I learned to be a leader. I learned to deal with the ups and downs. I knew that, I learned to deal that everything's not going to be perfect. You're going to have a bad play. I learned to play a bunch of different styles of football, a bunch of different techniques. I had 4 line coaches. And, now sitting here, I think I'm an experienced, tough, durable, and better player with my poise.
Catch Nelson's full interview on the latest episode of The Jump Around, streaming on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella Windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
And may I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time. Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Chevy Truck Month is back. Get more truck for your buck at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Right now, get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Chevy Silverado. That's right, 2.9% for 6 years. That really is more truck for your buck. But hurry, offer ends on April 30th. Never overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $15.15 per 1,000 financed with approved credit through GM Financial.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
We will be back here again tomorrow, although not in this nice trailer because
it's going to be colder
of the
tomorrow,
coffee
too.
Spill.
It's chilly in here.
We're running over to Target to get us a Swiffer to clean this whole thing up.
And hopefully we will have a first-round draft pick
Jason
for the
ain't
Green
going
Bay
to Target.
Packers to
What are you
talk
talking
about. Now that you were off base on the smoking, you are not off base on the shopping when it comes to me. All right, Jesse, what all do we have planned after we're done across ESPN Wisconsin here?
It is a fully loaded 3-day frenzy on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves, including all day today. So Alex Strofe and the Mr. Irrelevant crew, Molly Brown, going to be stopping by, probably some other special guests hopping in as well. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week is coming up live right here from Green Bay until 2 o'clock right after our show. Then the KBN crew holds the fort down for the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular all afternoon.
KBN
long,
here?
Yes, they
In
are all
person.
here, and they're going to have a bunch of guests coming through from the national ESPN team, locally, some featured players. I think Old T and Brian Bulaga might make an appearance with them this afternoon. All kinds of fun scheduled all afternoon in Madison, thanks to the Brewers. You'll be able to watch that on YouTube. It'll be on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam all afternoon long. And then ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night. That's the big show tonight. If you don't want to watch the national show or you want to watch us in addition to the national show, Alex Strofe, Homer, Gabe Neitzel. I heard Jason Wilde's going to be
What
a
a
big
squad
part of that
that
tonight.
is.
And a bunch of other guests
powerhouse
coming in.
squad.
And we've got Green Bay covered. So it's not just Packers. It's all of Green Bay. We'll have people out and around, all around where the draft is taking place, capturing the sights and sounds of this once-in-a-lifetime experience
It is
tonight.
once in a
So
lifetime,
we
no doubt.
cannot wait. All weekend long we're going to have stuff planned, but this is the big stuff coming up here on Thursday all day on 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and on YouTube.
So I have to cook. I don't have to. I get to cook brats.
Pit boss.
And I have a plan where my presentation is what's going to win. Because let's be honest, cooking brats, you can soak them in beer, soak them in onion. I'm going to soak them in beer and onion. And then it's about cooking them properly.
Sure.
Because I need to beat Bulaga today. I'm not coming in here and having Blue beat me in a
He
cook-off.
took your job in the NFL, and
Yeah.
now he's going to take your title as a griller.
No, but I'm going to win this Pit Boss challenge this afternoon.
You sound confident.
You guys have a friendly wager on it?
There is no friendly wager. I haven't even talked to Balag about it. I see he's putting it out on social media trying to get, like, recipes. It's like, you're cooking a brat, bro. Like, come up with a plan. You don't need to crowdsource. Not everything needs to be crowdsourced.
I'm just saying you sound a little overconfident right now.
Maybe. I'm going to tell you this. If I lose, it's because the judges suck. I'm just going to put it out there.
Do you have a tease about your presentation?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say it because I know Blue's an avid listener to the
So
program.
you think he might steal it? Sure.
He
All right.
He's on a bus with Gabe and Homer.
Yeah,
There's no way he's listening.
I'm just telling you, I'm not. It's at 4 or 4:30, I think. Let's get out of here.
All right. Who's your pick? Right now, tonight, again, as we say goodbye, it's on the record. It'll be on tape. I am planting my flag. Tataroa McMillan, Arizona wide receiver, the Packers' first-round pick tonight. You said Golden.
Golden
is your
out of
guy?
Texas. I think we're both on the same page. Wide out, top wide out, going to be the guy that Green Bay takes.
And Jesse, who you got?
Who's our corner from Kentucky? Hairston.
Maxwell Hairston.
I like that
right.
one. I don't think the Packers know yet. It's going to be based on who's available, and I think he's going to be one of the top corners available at that point.
We will be here tomorrow to see when all three of us were wrong who the Packers drafted. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Enjoy the draft. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of